Chapter 1802. Honey, if Professor Liu is my father, then Dr. Linya, yeah, she's your biological mother. Oh my God, I'm crazy. Hua Mion's idol in her life wasn't a superstar, a Hollywood best actor, or a leader in politics. When she was studying medicine, she idolized Linya, a top medical doctor who was once known as the deadliest doctor in the world. It was said that Dr. Linya was the pride of the Chinese. She had developed many drugs to treat allergies and made great contributions to the medical industry. However, it was said that Dr. Linya mysteriously disappeared 16 years ago. No one knew where she was or if she was dead or alive. Dr. Lin and Professor Liu had become legendary figures and mysteries. Now that Qinshu mentioned them and said they were her biological parents, Huamin thought it was ridiculous. She was as shocked as if someone told her she was the princess of a Middle Eastern country. Then, other than them, do I have any other relatives? Huamin asked. Yes, you have a younger sister. Younger sister? Yeah. Do you remember the jade gourd you received during Chinese New Year? Yes. That's the gift she gave you. She knows me. Huamin was overjoyed. Of course. Not only does she know you, but she also cares about you. She even snuck into the city to see you several times. She even walked past you and stole your work ID. Huamin froze for a second and then remembered one time when he was working at Southside. He lost his work ID for no reason. Now that he thought about it, it was his younger sister who did it. Younger sister? Oh my God, I have a younger sister? Hearing that he had a younger sister, Huamin was extremely excited. Her name is Lu Yen. She's 21 years old. She's very pretty and fierce. Fierce. Huamin froze again. She has another identity. She's the leader of a world-famous mercenary group. Her code name is Second Mississippi. Mercenary group? She is a mercenary? Qinshu took a deep look at Huamin and explained calmly. Lu Yin, female, 21 years old, born in California. She moved to Hong Kong when she was 3 years old. Due to her extraordinary talent, she was accepted into the West Point Military Academy at the age of 15. She stayed at West Point for 3 years and graduated early. Then, she picked a few outstanding alumni and quickly formed a mercenary group. She took on countless big jobs and is worth tens of billions. She squandered money like it was water, and her marksmanship was accurate. Are you saying that my sister is a serial killer? Huamin found it hard to accept. Or maybe she's used to being hunted down? You probably don't know, but Professor Liu's situation is extremely awkward right now. Because he was framed by criminals, he was suspected by the National Security Agency. He was also tracked by the FBI, and he was even targeted by terrorists who wanted him to create biochemical weapons to threaten the entire human race. So your father and sister have been living a homeless life for years. Being hunted down is a common occurrence. So, it didn't come looking for me? Huamin finally understood. Qinshu nodded. I think your father doesn't want you to live like that. So, he'd rather not disturb you and watch you live a peaceful and happy life. Then, are they okay now? What about my mother? Lu Yin didn't mention Dr. Linya, and I've never met Professor Liu, so I'm not sure. You mean you met my sister? Huamin understood the meaning behind Qinshu's words. I did. 3 years ago, your sister's friend was injured and shot. The surgery was very difficult, so she went to Seattle to find me. I went to Russia to perform the surgery for that person, and I met Lu Yin in Moscow. Then what does she look like? Huamin asked Qinshu curiously, like a little girl. Chapter 1803. She's very lively, arrogant, and domineering. She misses you too. Upon hearing this, Huamin felt an indescribable mix of emotions. It turned out that she still had family in this world. They had always been there, and they even knew about her existence. How miraculous was this? Mion. Yeah? Huamin looked up. I'll let you see Lu Yin and the professor. But now isn't the right time. This is what I'm going to tell you next. I want to tell you why Hua Xiqian was able to threaten me into divorcing you. Yeah, go ahead. Huamin knew that Qinshu was very calm and steady, so he must have his reasons for saying this. The leader of the world's top terrorist organization, IOS, is Ian. He's violent and murderous, and he's very ambitious. All these years, he's been creating violence and chaos, and he's trying to make a fortune out of it. He's always wanted to capture Professor Liu because he's said to have developed a biochemical weapon that can kill people invisibly. He can invade a country without using any military forces. That's why he's been chasing after your father all these years. Your sister learned how to protect herself at a young age and traveled around the world on her own. Ian's family is very powerful, and his younger brother, Nalo, is the godfather of Germany's biggest mafia. The reason Huasiqian knows so much is because during the 6 years he was in Germany, he was very close to Nalo and had some contact with Ian. You're saying Huasiqian knows that psycho-terrorist? Huamin was shocked. Not only do they know each other, they have a very close relationship. Otherwise, how would he know about your identity? But I'm very grateful to Huasiqian. Grateful to him? Hearing Qin Chu's words, Huamin was completely confused. Yes, I really want to thank him. If he didn't keep it a secret, your identity would have been exposed a long time ago. Do you know that Ian has been investigating your whereabouts all these years? Investigating me? He knows about my existence? Huamin was dumbfounded again. He felt that this matter involved a lot of people. He knows that the professor has a daughter in China, but he hasn't been able to find her. So, I think that Huasiqian must have done something. Otherwise, with Ian's efficiency, he wouldn't have delayed it until now. Won't Huasiqian suspect him for doing this? That's why he's so powerful. His relationship with those people isn't that simple. Anyway, the professor and Liu Yin didn't dare to come to you because they were afraid that your identity would be exposed. Unlike Liu Yin, you're not the kind of person who lives on the edge of a knife. Once your identity is exposed, you'll be in great danger. So that's how it is. I finally understand now. The doubts that had been in his heart all this time were finally revealed back in the day. Huasiqian had threatened Qin Chu because of this. As long as Qin Chu revealed Huamin to Ian, Huasiqian would be in trouble. Then, Huamian was basically dead. No wonder Qin Chu was so scared. But don't worry. After I deal with Huasiqian, I'll think of a way to deal with Ian. Remember, in this world, I won't let anyone hurt or threaten you. I'll definitely reunite you with the professor and fulfill your wish. Qin Chu said seriously, word for word. Chapter 1804. Huamin felt tears welling up in her eyes. All these years, Qin Chu was the only one who would always put himself in her shoes and think for her. He treated her life like it was the most important thing in the world. Over the years, Qin Chu would try his best to make Huamin's dreams come true. When she was young, she wanted to study medicine. In the end, Qin Chu went abroad to study medicine for 7 years. She said she wanted to find her family. Qin Chu lost a lot of his men in Dongtao town and wanted to find the truth for her. She said she wanted to keep her marriage a secret, so he didn't tell anyone. She said she wanted to work at Southside after marriage, so he asked Rick to keep an eye on Huamin and protect her. As long as Huamin wanted something, Qin Chu would try his best to do it for her. Mr. Qin was never good with words, but he would always use his actions to prove how much he loved her. This was Qin Chu, the man Huamin loved deeply for many years. When they were young, he was calm and collected. He didn't show his emotions on his face and always had his own ideas. About Professor Liu, well, honey, let's not talk about them. I know they're not in danger, so I'm not worried anymore. You just came back, so get some sleep. Don't be so tired. So, madam, are you inviting me? Qin Chu looked at her gently. Huamin's face immediately turned red. Honey, your face is so red. Are you thinking the wrong thing? What? I'm not. Don't measure the heart of a gentleman with your own yardstick. Huamin was furious that Qin Chu saw right through her. She laid on top of Qin Chu and played around with him. Qin Chu grabbed Huamin's hand with both hands and flipped her over. Their eyes met. At such a close distance, their eyelashes were almost touching each other. Huamin felt her heart race. It was as if she had returned to the time when they first got married. Even though, I can't wait to eat you up, but I want to hug you for the whole night. Then Qin Chu gently kissed Huamin's forehead. Good night, honey. Good night, honey. Huamin's heart was filled with warmth. She nestled in Qin Shu's arms, tightly holding his hand, and then fell asleep. Midnight. Huamian was extremely thirsty. She opened her eyes and was about to get some water when she was startled. She noticed that Qin Shu was sitting beside her, quietly watching her. "Why aren't you asleep?" "I don't, silly. You'll have time every day. Go to sleep." Huamin pulled Qin Shu onto the bed and pressed him against her. Qin Shu tightly held onto Huamin's hand. "I'm going to get some water. I'll get it for you." Then, Qin Shu got up, picked up a glass of water from the coffee table, and brought it to Huamin. He watched as Huamin drank it all in one gulp. Then, he took out a tissue and wiped the corner of her mouth. "I'm going back to sleep." "I'm so sleepy," Huamin groggily said. "Okay, go back to sleep." Huamin groggily lay down and fell asleep again. In her dream, she dreamt that she and Qin Shu went back to their youth and shared some sweet memories in school. The corners of her mouth began to curl up. "Mon, you don't know how much I miss you. 11 years, 11 whole years have passed. We've missed so much. I should have been with you." Qin Shu looked at Huamin tenderly. No matter how tired he was, he couldn't bear to close his eyes. He sat beside her, quietly guarding her. In the next room, on a spacious pink princess bed, after the two little guys tricked their grandma into leaving, they began chatting. "Pudding, what did you say to handsome Sue behind my back today?" Little Bean turned her head and asked her sister. Chapter 1805. "What are you talking about? Do you think I'll tell you?" "Come on, don't be so naive," Pudding said in disdain. "You're so annoying. There are so many men in the world. Why are you trying to steal handsome Sue from me? We're sisters." Pudding pouted, feeling very unhappy. Pudding turned her head and looked at Pudding. "Are you kidding me? Qin Mumu, I should be the one saying that. I met handsome Sue first." "Nonsense. We're twins. We were born together. So, we met handsome Sue together," Pudding emphasized. "Come on, use your pig brain. I'm the older one. I was born a few seconds before you, okay?" "Pudding, what's so great about being born a few seconds before me? We don't even know who handsome Sue likes. But seriously, let's stop arguing. I think Daddy's return this time is a big blow to handsome Sue." Pudding lowered her eyelashes, looking very worried. "Yeah, Daddy, why did you come back now? Why didn't you come back earlier or later? It's like you're going against handsome Sue. If Daddy didn't come back, handsome Sue would have proposed to Mommy today, so we almost had to call handsome Sue Daddy. Oh my God, I can't accept this." Pudding was so scared that she threw the QQ candy she was eating to the ground. "It didn't work out, right? So, Daddy's return is a good thing for us," Pudding analyzed. Pudding nodded. "You're right. At least handsome Sue won't miss Mommy anymore. But handsome Sue will be in a bad mood for a few days. Although I didn't see him cry, he must be very heartbroken," Pudding thought gloomily. "It's okay. I can take him to eat Coke burgers. There's nothing a burger can't solve. If there's, we'll eat too," Pudding said happily. "You only know how to eat. I really have to hand it to you. I'm eating and having a crush on handsome Sue at the same time. Huh? I don't want to talk to you. Don't tell people you're from the Qin family. You'll lose fans." Pudding had always felt that Little Bean's IQ was obviously lower than hers, Mommy and Daddy. Little Bean was dragging down the whole family's IQ. "Who wants to talk to you? You make it sound like I can live another 100 years if I talk to you." Little Bean rolled her eyes at Pudding. The conversation between the two princesses came to an end. After Wei Liao and his family returned home, they didn't feel sleepy at all. "Son, you go back first. I have something to say to your mother." Wei Liao looked at Wei Yinshu. "Do you want to have sex with your mother?" Wei Liao was speechless. "Jiang Xiaowei, where did you hear that term from?" "Oh my God." For the first time, Wei Liao was exhausted by his son. "Little Bean told me. Little Bean said that we kids were born because you adults didn't take responsibility of him. Stay away from Little Bean from now on." Wei Liao warned. "How can I do that? My mom said that Little Bean will be my wife in the future. Don't. We can't control such a smart daughter-in-law." "Son, calm down." Wei Liao and Jiang Xiaowei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. After the nanny finally took their son to bed, Wei Liao glanced at Jiang Xiaowei and said, "Honey, I'm going to Lord Su's house. I might be late. Go. Drive safe. Wei Liao nodded. When he drove to Su Yu's mansion, he saw Tang Chuan's car there as well. It seemed that he was here to accompany Su Yu. After walking in, Wei Liao looked around and was slightly surprised. He asked Tang Chuan, "Where's Lord Su?" Chapter 1806. Tang Chuan pointed at the bedroom upstairs, but he didn't say anything. Wei Liao slowly walked up the stairs and went straight to the bedroom on the second floor. The door was open. Su Yu was lying on the carpet on the floor. His white shirt was open, and his body was exposed. He was holding the black velvet box tightly in one hand and a wine glass in the other. The red wine was spilled on the floor. Even a man like Wei Liao's heart ached when he saw how dispirited she looked. "Lord Su, you don't have to persuade me, I understand, but I'm still sad," Su Yu said in a hoarse voice. After returning to the mansion, he had been drinking. His heart ached, and he wanted to get drunk, but he was sober. He admitted that he was a little selfish. Although he always wanted to give Huamin without asking for anything in return, he couldn't help but be greedy and want to have her. If it weren't for Qin Shu's sudden return, he even thought that Huamin would agree to his proposal and marry him. Then, she would move in with the twins and live with him. From then on, the four of them would live happily ever after. With Su Yu's personality, he would definitely spoil the three of them. However, he forgot that Huamin and the twins were never his. They had always been Qin Shu's. He was too stubborn. In the beginning, he didn't want anything, but later on, he was delusional. In the end, he was wrong. Damn it. Qin Shu of all times, why did he have to come back now? It's been 4 years, and he only came back. Huamin had Lord Su by her side when she was pregnant, and Lord Su was by her side when she was giving birth. Now, his wife and kids are all grown up, and he's back to enjoy everything. How can he be like this? No, I have to go talk to Qin Shu. What the hell is he doing? Does he think Lord Su is a big shot? Tang Chuan was an impulsive person, and he felt bad for Su Yu. After cursing to himself, he was about to go downstairs when Wei Liao stopped him. "Stop right there. Young Master Wei, don't stop me. This time, I have to stand up for Lord Su." "Second young Master Tang, can you stop messing things up? What you're thinking is nonsense. You're Lord Su's buddy, so you only see Lord Su's sacrifice, but you don't see Qin Shu's tolerance. Do you think he's willing to stay away for 4 years and ignore his wife and kids? Do you think Huamin doesn't know what kind of person Qin Shu is? When it comes to love between a man and a woman, there's no fairness. It's all about who's willing to give. Even if Lord Su is upset, we can't blame Huamin and Qin Shu. First of all, Huamin never gave Lord Su hope. He never said that he wanted to be with Lord Su. Huamin also said more than once that even if Qin Shu died, he would never marry again. Even Lord Su confirmed this himself. As for you, I didn't even have time to scold you for coming up with such a stupid idea. What kind of proposal is this? It's really wrong of you to encourage Lord Su to boldly propose. If it succeeds, everyone will be happy. But if it doesn't, how are they going to get along in the future? It's so awkward. I was doing it for Lord Su's sake, wasn't I? Lord Su doesn't need us to do it for him. We can help him with anything else, but not love. We can't help him. If Lord Su doesn't give up, he'll always be the one in pain, because it's destined that Huamin won't love him. Tang Chuan was unwilling to give up. This Huamin, why is he so stubborn? I have so many women around me. One day, I sleep with one, and the next day, I'll be with someone else. Their hearts change faster than their faces. How come when it comes to Huamin, they'll follow him through life and death? How strange. Can't they give our Lord Su a chance? Our Lord Su has to suffer for jumping into the pit that Huamin dug. Chapter 1807. Everyone is different. Lord Su likes Huamin so much because she's such a good person. If Huamin was a fickle woman, do you think Lord Su would still like her? Wei Liao was angry that Tang Chuan was so simple-minded. You have a point, Tang Chuan muttered to himself. So, you better stop. Don't go looking for them anymore. 4 years of separation was a torture for Qin Shu and Huamin. We're all outsiders. They're the victims. We can't deny Qin Shu's feelings for Huamin just because we're biased towards Lord Su. That's not what a gentleman would do. I'm not a gentleman to begin with. Tang Chuan mumbled. Go boil some water for me and make a pot of tea for Lord Su. Otherwise, he'll get alcohol poisoning. Oh, okay. Tang Chuan came to his senses after Wei Liao scolded him. He quickly went downstairs to boil water and make tea. Wei Liao helped Lord Su up from the ground and place him on the big bed. Lord Su, fate can't be forced. I know everything. It's good that you know. We still have to live our lives. You can't lose confidence in life just because of what happened between you and Huamin. I know. Although Su Yu was dizzy, he wasn't drunk at all. Wei Liao sighed deeply and didn't say anything else. Su Yu took out his phone and looked at Huamin's photo on the screensaver. His eyes were in a daze. Then he opened his WeChat moments and wrote, I've heard a lot of things, but I still can't live a good life. Su Yu's WeChat had a few thousand people. There were many female celebrities, executives, business partners, and rich kids in the circle. His WeChat message immediately caused an uproar among his friends. Lord Su, what's going on? Did you fall out of love? Don't worry, President Su. There's nothing we can't overcome. President Su, what's wrong? Young Master Su is in a bad mood. Do you want me to have a drink with you? Su Yu couldn't be bothered to read the comments that were all over the place. South Hill Manor. The next morning, Qin Chu woke up early to make breakfast for Huamin and the twins because he did not sleep well. When the two little guys got up and went downstairs, there was a sumptuous breakfast on the table. Wow, there's so much good food. What's the occasion today? Little Bean licked her little tongue greedily. The twins were wearing white long-sleeve sweaters and red checker dresses. They all had red Mickey Mouse hairbands on their heads, making them look especially adorable. Their clothes were all chosen by Huamin, and there were countless of them. Every outfit was exactly the same, and they even had matching headwear and shoes. They were really treated like princesses. It was true that Huamin loved his daughters very much. Even if they made mistakes, Huamin wouldn't hit them. He would only lecture them. Pudding looked at Little Bean coldly and said helplessly, Can you please bring your brain with you this morning? It's obviously Daddy's first time having breakfast with us. Of course, it has to be sumptuous. You two can't fight so early in the morning. For Daddy, can you live in peace? Huamin laughed. It's impossible for us to live in peace. But for Daddy, I can tolerate her for a day. Then, Pudding walked up to Qin Shu and sat down beside him. Then, she blinked her big eyes and looked at Qin Shu with her baby voice. Good morning, Daddy. Good morning, my Pudding. Qin Shu's eyes were incomparably gentle. Little Bean sat on the other side of Qin Shu and asked curiously, Daddy, how do you know she's Pudding and not Little Bean? Because people say Pudding is Tsundere and Little Bean is adorable. Qin Shu laughed. Do you like the adorable one or the Tsundere one? Little Bean continued to ask. I like both. That's a good answer. If you're not satisfied, Daddy, you can only choose one. Little Bean began to make things difficult again. Chapter 1808. Qin Shu was at a loss for words. Then, she looked up at Huamin for help. Huamin replied helplessly, They've been like this ever since they learned how to talk. They're always giving me a choice. I can't say I like both of them. Daddy, can you not answer this question? Why not? Little Bean looked at Qin Shu curiously. Because if Daddy only says one, the other one will be unhappy. You're both Daddy's daughters, and I don't want either one of you to be unhappy. So if Daddy has to choose one, Daddy really can't choose. Okay, Daddy, since you sound so pitiful, I'll let you go. Who would have thought that Qin Shu's words would make Little Bean give up on making things difficult for him? That was amazing. Daddy, did you make this breakfast yourself? Little Bean took a bite of the grilled sausage and asked, How did you know? Qin Shu was surprised. Because when the Annies at home make grilled sausages, they always put a lot of black pepper. I don't really like the taste. But Daddy made it today. Mommy doesn't like grilled sausages, so she never makes them for us. I think Daddy must have made it himself. Little Bean's words made Qin Shu and Huamin look at each other in shock. She was only 3 years old, but her logical reasoning skills were already so strong. You're right, Daddy made it himself. Do you like it? Qin Shu picked up a tissue and wiped the grease off the corner of Little Bean's mouth lovingly. "Daddy, I want some too." Seeing this, Little Bean deliberately picked up the glass, took a sip of milk, and then wiped the milk off the corner of her mouth. Then, she stuck out her little tongue, waiting for Chin Chu to wipe it off. Chin Chu smiled and turned around, picked up another tissue, and patiently wiped his little daughter's mouth. Huamin dreamed of such a heartwarming scene. At this moment, she really felt like she was going to die of happiness. "Honey, after breakfast, come to the company with me?" "No." Chin Chu refused without hesitation. "Why?" "Because I want to stay at home with my daughter." But you're the president of the headquarters. Is it really okay for you not to visit the branch offices when you return?" "Nothing is more important than spending time with our daughter." "Honey, you should go to work. I'll stay at home and wash your clothes, cook for you, and take care of the kids. I'll just be a stay-at-home husband." "Huh?" Huamin couldn't help but laugh out loud. Pudding immediately reminded her, "Mommy, can you not smile so fiercely? You'll scare Daddy away. How dare he? If he runs again, I'll—" "So what?" Chin Chu looked at Huamin with a smile, deliberately teasing her. "If you run away again, I'll take Pudding and Little Bean and marry Su Yu." "Oomph." "Mommy, handsome Su won't take the blame for your fight with Daddy." Little Bean immediately defended Su Yu. "Yeah, Mommy, you can't be so willful and let handsome Su get implicated. It's unfair. Don't drag the innocent into your flirting with Daddy." Pudding chimed in. Huamin was speechless. "Did you see that? Remember what your daughter said." Chin Chu said proudly. "Why do I suddenly feel like these two are betraying me? We're not on the same side anymore." Huamin laughed. At the Hoa Corporation, Hua Xiqian didn't sleep at all last night. He had a lot on his mind and was furious at the morning meeting. He was so angry that he scolded all the employees. Hua Xiqian sat in his office with a gloomy face. "Boss, now that Chin Chu is back, what should we do now?" One of his subordinates asked carefully. Chapter 1809. What should we do? I guess we have to settle old and new grudges together. Boss, do you want us to strike first and gain the upper hand? Hua Xiqian raised his hand. No need. I want to see how much Chin Chu has grown over the past 4 years, hiding abroad like a coward. If he could fall into my hands 4 years ago, he'll do the same 4 years later. Yes, boss. We'll do as you say. Over the past 4 years, Hua Xiqian had disguised himself well and became a well-known entrepreneur in the city. Although Su Yu and Huamin often bullied him in the business world, he didn't mind at all. It was just as he had said before. His biggest dream and ambition was not to earn as much money as he could, nor to gain fame and fortune. He just wanted to have Huamin, but Chin Chu wasn't around, so he couldn't fulfill his dream. To be honest, Hua Xiqian had wanted to kill Su Yu many times, but Su Yu's background was too special. Unlike Chin Chu, he wasn't just a simple entrepreneur. The Su family protected Su Yu too tightly. If anything happened to Su Yu, it would escalate to a political level. No matter how bold he was, he wouldn't dare to provoke a powerful country. Therefore, it could be said that Su Yu is a bigger headache for Hua Xiqian. "President Hua, Miss Yin is here. Okay, you can leave now." Hua Xiqian looked at his subordinate after hearing the female secretary's report. "Yes. Hi, Qian." Yin Ruashi was still passionate about Hua Xiqian even after 3 years. She even gave up the opportunity to study abroad for Hua Xiqian and stayed in the city to open a pottery museum. Although Mayor Yin wanted to interfere, he couldn't. In the end, he could only accept his daughter's actions. At the same time, he thought that if Hua Xiqian could marry Ruashi, it would be good for his position. Hua Xiqian was smart enough to keep his distance from Yin Ruashi for the past few years. He didn't admit that they were boyfriend and girlfriend, nor did he touch Yin Ruashi. This made Yin Ruashi think that Hua Xiqian could marry her, which was why he respected her so much. "Ruashi, what's up? Are you free at noon? Let's have lunch. My best friend opened a Sichuan restaurant on Tsuwei Road. I remember you like spicy." "Yeah." Hua Xiqian smiled. "Are you coming or not? I've already booked a table." "Okay." Hua Xiqian didn't refuse Yin Ruashi's kindness. Just like that, The two of them drove to the Sichuan restaurant on Sui Road. Coincidentally, Chin Shu brought the twins to the restaurant as well. Pudding and Little Bean both liked spicy food. So Chin Shu asked someone to do some research and found that the new Sichuan restaurant here was quite delicious. Therefore, he brought the two little princesses with him. It was a silver gray Audi R8. Just like before, Chin Shu and Huamin were fans of Audi. They could afford a sports car worth tens of millions of yuan, but they only drove their favorite model, not the most expensive one. Little Bean and Pudding sat in the same seat, and Chin Shu fastened them with seat belts. At first, Yang Mei Yirong didn't think it was safe and insisted that the bodyguards follow them. However, Chin Shu politely refused. Since he dared to bring the twins out, he wasn't afraid of anything happening. In the past 4 years, he had experienced too much. Now, he was a husband who could protect his wife and a father who could give his daughters a sense of security. When Hui Qian and Yin Ruoxi walked in, Chin Shu and the others were walking in as well. Coincidentally, they ran into each other in the lobby. Put and Little Bean, come here and let me hug you. Every time he saw the twins, Hui Qian was very enthusiastic. Chapter 1810. To be honest, Hui Qian didn't know why he was so evil. Back then, when Huamin was pregnant, he wanted to do something to her a few times. He didn't want Huamin to give birth safely because he couldn't accept Huamin giving birth to another man's child. However, when the twins were born, he liked them for the first time. Although he didn't have many chances to see the twins in the past 3 years, every time he saw them, Hui Qian would look at them lovingly. It was as if they were his own children. Seeing Hui Qian, Little Bean seemed a little scared. She took a step back and hid behind Chin Shu. Chin Shu held his daughter's hand tightly. Pudding, on the other hand, was calm. She glanced at Hui Qian coldly and said, Mr. Hua, did you get the wrong person? We only have 2 uncles, Jing Zhixin and Ni Yang. Who do you think you are? Hey, what are you talking about? Don't you have any manners? Yin Ruoxi couldn't stand it anymore and defended Hui Qian. This is a conversation between us. Outsiders shouldn't interfere. After all, people who interrupt other people's conversations are even more ill-mannered. Pudding was still calm. Chin Shu couldn't help but praise his eldest daughter. She was a black-bellied and sharp-tongued baby. She was as arrogant as Chin Shu and as sharp-tongued as Huamin. She was his biological daughter. Yin Ruoxi was about to go up and argue with her when Hui Qian stopped her. Ruoxi, why are you being so serious with the kid? Hui Qian smiled. Pudding, you seem to have misunderstood me. The truth is, I really like you and Little Bean. I give you guys presents every birthday. Who wants your presents? Mommy said that you're a wolf in sheep's clothing. Little Bean stuck out her tongue and made a face behind Chin Shu. Hui Qian didn't know whether to laugh or cry. So that's what your mommy said about me. Hui Qian smiled. So, please don't pretend to be familiar with us in the future. Although my sister and I don't get along, we have the same thoughts when it comes to you. The two of us really, really hate you. Hui Qian, Daddy, let's go. I suddenly lost my appetite. Pudding proudly turned around and walked out. Chin Shu held Little Bean's hand and immediately followed them. When they brushed past each other, Hui Qian smiled evilly. Welcome back. Our battle will continue. You can prepare a coffin for yourself now. I won't go easy on you, Chin Shu said coldly as he turned around and left with his daughter. Hui Qian sneered. He didn't seem to take Chin Shu's words to heart. Yin Ruoxi intimately held Hui Qian's arm. Qian, are they your sister's daughters? They're so rude. It seems like your sister is also a rude person. Ruoxi, this is my family business. Then, Hui Qian quietly pulled his arm back and gently pushed Yin Ruoxi away. Only then did Yin Ruoxi realize that she might have said something wrong. It was strange. Every time they talked about that woman related to Huamin, Hui Qian would get angry. Did he have feelings for Huamin? In the Audi R8, Pudding, if you and Little Bean like it, will go in. It's okay. Chin Shu comforted. When I saw that bad guy, I lost my appetite. Daddy, let's go to another restaurant. Anything is fine. You decide. Pudding, Daddy wants to ask you. Who told you that he's a bad guy? Chin Shu was curious. He didn't think that Huamin would instill hatred in his children. Chapter 1811. No one told us. Mommy would never tell us something so complicated. I heard Mommy, Annie Lingling, and Annie Xiaowei talking about it on WeChat. I also know that he's the reason why Daddy can't come back. Pudding explained. Little Bean immediately added, Yeah. Daddy, let me tell you, that guy looks like he's sly and cunning. He's so annoying. Every year, Mommy would sell his gifts and donate the money to the kids in the mountain area. She never accepts his gifts. Mommy hates him for a reason. That's why we decided to work together to ban him together. Qin Shu suddenly felt like he was raising two daughters. Did I have to have such high EQ? Daddy, I'm a little hungry. Why don't you take us to Xian's ramen for a bowl of noodles? Little Bean said pitifully as she rubbed her belly. Xian's ramen? Do you guys go there often? Qin Shu was surprised. Of course. Mommy goes there once a month, rain or shine. We're used to it. To be honest, the noodles there aren't that good. But we don't want Mommy to be disappointed, Little Bean said honestly. I told you, Mommy doesn't eat noodles. She eats feelings. Can you stop nagging? Pudding looked at Little Bean unhappily. The battle between the two sisters had begun again. In the end, Qin Shu really did drive the girls to Xian's ramen. When the owner saw Qin Shu, he froze for a second. Then he smiled warmly and said, Mr. Qin, you're back. Yeah, Qin Shu nodded. You've changed a lot in the past few years. I watched you and your wife go from being students to working. Then you got married. Now your kids are all grown up. What a happy family. Thank you, boss. 3 bowls of ramen with extra beef. Thank you. Qin Shu found a seat that he often sat at with Huamin and sat down with the two sisters. Seeing that the place hadn't changed at all, Qin Shu's heart was filled with gratitude. He knew that Huamin didn't come here to eat ramen. She came here because she missed him. His wife turned out to be as stubborn as him. Just then, Little Bean muttered, I don't think Mommy came here because she wants to. Maybe it's because we don't have to pay to eat here. After all, I heard that Daddy saved a lot of money here. It's enough for the 4 of us to eat for decades. Qin Shu was speechless. If Mommy hears this, she'll be shocked to death. Pudding looked at her sister helplessly. You too. You're so weird. You have so many ideas. Qin Shu looked at his 2 daughters dotingly. He took out a scarf from his handbag and put on each of them. She was afraid that the noodles would stain Charm's flowery dress. Pudding thought for a moment and looked up at Qin Shu. Daddy, I have a very serious question to ask you. Ask away. Wait, let me interrupt. Daddy, you have to be careful. Pudding's questions are usually difficult to answer. You better be prepared. Little Bean pretended to give Qin Shu a heads up. Okay, thanks for the reminder. Daddy is already prepared. Qin Shu smiled warmly. Will you and Mommy have a second child? Pudding asked with a straight face. Qin Shu was speechless. Sure enough, Pudding's questions were difficult to answer. Chapter 1812. Pudding, why are you asking this all of a sudden? Qin Shu didn't answer her question directly. He realized that he couldn't treat Pudding as a kid anymore. Her IQ was off the charts. I've been thinking about this for a long time. Before you came back, Mommy couldn't have a baby with someone else, so I never asked. Now that Daddy is back, this could happen at any time. I have to ask first so I can be mentally prepared. Qin Shu was speechless. Sis, you're thinking too much. Aren't you worrying too much? Pudding asked as she chewed on noodles. What do you know? This is called preparing for a rainy day. If we're like you and plan ahead, we'll be miserable. Pudding, if you're in an ancient palace drama, I bet you won't last more than 1 episode. Impossible. I'll make it to 1.5 episodes. Pudding refused to admit defeat. Qin Shu's forehead was covered in cold sweat. What the hell was going on? Pudding, if Mommy and I want a second child, will you be okay with it? Qin Shu asked tentatively. Pudding thought for a moment and said slowly, I don't mind. I'm not an only child, so 1 more or 1 less doesn't make a big difference to me. That's right, even if it's just 1 sheep, it's still the same as letting 2 sheep go. We don't mind having 1 more sheep at home. But Daddy, if we don't mind you giving birth to a younger brother, will you mind us teaming up to bully him? Pudding asked. Qin Shu was speechless again. These two kids were really smart, weren't they? They said they didn't mind their parents having a second child, but they didn't want their parents to mind them bullying their younger brother. Oh my God, what kind of logic was this? Daddy, why aren't you saying anything? Is this a hard question to answer? Pudding asked. No, Daddy was thinking, I don't have the final say in having a second child. It's up to your mommy. Plus, it's not easy to have a baby. You can't have one just because you want it. It depends on fate. Didn't mommy go through a lot of trouble to get you two pregnant? So, it's still too early to say anything, Chin Chu explained patiently. So, Daddy, you haven't answered my question yet. Pudding refused to let go. Ahem, Pudding, to be honest, Daddy wants to have more children. After all, I love your mommy so much that even a football team isn't enough. But it depends on the situation. If mommy's body doesn't allow it, Daddy won't let her suffer again. What do you think? Okay, you pass, but if you have a younger brother or sister in the future, Daddy can't be biased, right? If Daddy favors the little one, we'll be unhappy. If we're unhappy, the consequences will be very serious. Little Bean threatened her father. Chin Chu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. But I don't have to worry. With my IQ, I won't lose to any younger siblings. Pudding was very confident in herself. She believed that even if she gave birth to a few younger siblings, she wouldn't be left out. Does IQ have anything to do with who Daddy and Mommy like? Funny. What's important is who's more attractive, right? It's hard for people not to like a cute girl like me. Little Bean began to be narcissistic. Chapter 18:13. Babies, it's time to eat the noodles. Otherwise, they'll get cold, Chin Chu reminded them out of kindness. However, he thought that taking care of children wasn't easy. He originally thought that the twins were easy to coax. He thought they could eat, drink, and have fun. However, he didn't expect the twins to say such shocking things. His sister, in particular, would ask him difficult questions all of a sudden, and he had to answer them with trepidation. He was afraid that he would make his daughters unhappy if he said something wrong. In the past 4 years, Chin Chu felt guilty towards Huamin. However, he knew that Huamin understood him, so he could slowly warm up to him. However, the twins were strangers to him, so he was eager to bond with his daughters. He didn't expect it to be so difficult. Daddy, is there something on your mind? Pudding glanced at her father and asked. No, liar. Your eyes seem to be telling me that you're deeply worried. Chin Chu was speechless. Daddy, what are you unhappy about? Tell us and make us happy, Little Bean added. Chin Chu was speechless. Daddy, don't listen to Little Bean. She's just teasing you. Tell me what's on your mind. I can help you. Pudding, you're still a kid. There are many things you don't understand. For example, Pudding looked at Chin Chu warmly and continued to ask. Daddy, you just came back and have a lot of things to deal with. When I think about those things, I have to be careful. Daddy, you're worried that we haven't been by your side for the past few years, so our hearts are with Handsome Sue, right? Pudding hit the nail on the head. Chin Chu's eyes widened as he stared at his 3-year-old daughter, unable to utter a single word. How did the kid know? Then, Pudding and Little Bean, do you like Daddy more or Uncle Sue more? Chin Chu didn't want to be so low and ask such a stupid question, but maybe he was infected by his daughters and wanted to ask a multiple-choice question. In fact, he was quite worried when he asked the question. He was afraid that the two sisters would say that they liked Sue Yu, or that their answers would be too official. If that happened, he would definitely feel a little disappointed. Oh, if that's the case, Daddy, don't worry. We don't have the same feelings for Daddy and Handsome Sue. We can't compare them, Little Bean said as she sipped her soup. How different? Chin Chu patted Little Bean's head lovingly. Pudding, you tell me. I'll drink this soup first. Little Bean pointed at her sister. He threw the question to Pudding. Pudding pondered for a few seconds and replied, Daddy, if I tell you, you can't get angry. Daddy won't. How could he bear to get angry with you guys? Chin Chu's guilt toward Huamin and his children over the past few years had made him make up his mind. Even if the two sisters burned down the villa for fun, he would not have the heart to get angry. His life creed was to spoil his wife and daughter so much that no one else could bear it. That way, they would belong to him forever. Although Mr. Chin was a quiet man of few words, he was very possessive. We love you very much, Daddy. Although we weren't with you when we were little, ever since we were little, or when we were in Mommy's belly, she has been telling us about you and Daddy. Now, we've heard so much that we can recite the story of how you two met and fell in love. We also know that Mommy and Daddy love each other very much. We also know that Daddy loves us very much. You were forced to leave us because of a lot of helplessness. So, we treat you as someone as important as Mommy. We love you guys very, very much. After hearing this, Chinshu felt something warm flowing through his heart. Chapter 1814. Pudding, who had always been cold and arrogant, could be so touching when she was warm. Little Bean nodded repeatedly, as if she agreed with Pudding. But we also love handsome Sue very much. He's been with us since we were born, and in the past few years, no matter what we wanted, he'd buy it for us, even if we wanted the stars in the sky. Mommy sometimes gets impatient with us because we're still kids and can do things that give people headaches. But handsome Sue has never been impatient with us in the past 3 years. He really treats us like his own children. I don't think many men in the world can love someone else's children without being related by blood. Of course, some people say that handsome Sue has a motive, that he wants to court Mommy. But I have to say that even if he has a motive, it's not easy for him to go this far. After a long time, even cats and dogs will develop feelings for each other, let alone humans. So, in our hearts, we love handsome Sue as well, especially after Daddy came back. You've heard handsome Sue more than 10,000 times. We and Mommy are immersed in the happiness of your return, but handsome Sue has to face the reality of losing everything by himself. Pudding couldn't continue, and tears welled up in her big, watery eyes. Little Bean saw this and immediately put down her spoon. She continued, for the past 3 years, handsome Sue has been living in a beautiful fantasy. Maybe he thought that Daddy wouldn't come back, and he thought that Mommy and us belonged to him. Until you came back, he suddenly lost everything. Maybe he's a little greedy and wants something that doesn't belong to him. But that still can't erase the love and care he's shown us over the past few years. Although Daddy and handsome Sue are rivals in love, we hope that you won't make things too difficult for us and Mommy. We also hope that Daddy won't interfere with our relationship with handsome Sue. Although it's a little selfish and a little cruel to Daddy, it's our wish. Daddy, please grant us our wish. After the twins finished speaking, Chinshu was deeply shocked. There was only one main point in the two sisters' words, which was that they loved Daddy and handsome Sue, both of them. Pudding, Little Bean, I'm not an unreasonable person. I've been very grateful to Sue you for all these years. I can understand that you guys love him, and I won't be jealous. My return has hurt Sue you a lot. You guys are right. I won't interfere with you guys, and I won't interfere with the special relationship between your Mommy and Sue you. Be it friends or confidants, people should learn to be grateful. If it weren't for the Sue family, Daddy wouldn't be happy today. That's great. I knew Daddy was a sensible person. Little Bean smiled sweetly. Thank you, Daddy. Pudding was relieved, but her reaction wasn't as big as Little Bean's. In comparison, Boss was more reserved, more like Chinshu. At this time, Chinshu's phone rang. He picked up his phone and glanced at it. Daddy, I need to take this. While Chinshu was on the phone, Little Bean moved closer to Pudding and asked in a low voice, Sis, are we going to talk about this today? Do you want to tell Daddy that we're going to marry handsome Sue? Daddy is under a lot of pressure. He won't be able to accept it all at once. Let's take it slow, Pudding said calmly. MHM, you're right. Also, I'm the one who's going to marry handsome Sue. Not us, Pudding corrected her. Damn it. How can that be? I want him too, I don't care. I can give you everything else, but not handsome Sue. Little Bean seemed a little agitated. Please, keep your voice down. Don't let Daddy hear you. Pudding glanced at Little Bean's angry face. GK headquarters, President Hua, and has a favor to ask. After the morning meeting, and followed Huamin into his office. What is it? Huamin looked up at him. Chapter 1815. In hopes that President Hua can visit President Su, Huamin was speechless. Ever since President Hua's husband came back, President Su has been in a bad mood. He hasn't been to the company for the past few days. I think it must be a big blow to him. In the past few years, he's treated you and the twins as his family. Now that he's suddenly lost so much, I'm afraid he won't be able to pull himself out of it. After all, this is a big blow to him. About this, don't worry, I won't leave him in the lurch. In fact, even if he didn't say anything, Huamin wouldn't leave Suyu in the lurch. Even though he had told Suyu everything that day, Huamin didn't want to leave him in the lurch. However, Huamin knew that even though everyone understood the big picture, it wasn't as simple as giving up something, and had been by Huamin's side for 3 years. He had gone through life and death with Huamin, so they had a deep relationship. However, he still cared about his old master. Therefore, he, who had always been a man of few words, actually took the initiative to ask Huamin to visit Suyu. It was truly rare. Thank you, President Hua. You don't have to thank me, and you've been by my side for the past few years. It's really been hard on you. It's nothing. It's what I should do. You've been by my side, protecting us, and helping us so much. I'm very grateful, but I don't think I could be a burden to you guys now. I want to talk about this after I was done with work, but since we're here today, I'll be direct. I hope you can return to Suyu's side and accompany him, and protect him because to him, you're no longer just a bodyguard and assistant. You're more like a confidant and a friend. Then what about you? And frowned slightly. I still have Bella. I'll make other arrangements to protect me. I think Suyu needs someone by his side right now. Then you should talk to President Su. Otherwise, he won't let me go back. Shaon had said that he wanted to go back, but Suyu didn't let him. He was worried that Huasiqian was up to no good. Okay, I'll go back and talk to Suyu alone. All right, I'll leave you to it then. President Hua, I'm going out. Okay. Huamin nodded. After and left, Huamin picked up his phone. She opened her WeChat moments and looked at the status that Suyu had posted last night. I've heard many great truths, but I still can't live a good life. Huamin looked at this post and suddenly felt very sad. Such decadent words were not Suyu's style at all. He was so sunny, so high profile, and always full of confidence. She had everything she wanted. She was in a high position and had money. However, such a person with looks, status, power, and money lamented that he had not lived a good life. He didn't want to leave anyone else a way out. Then Huamin sighed slightly. It seemed like she really had to find time to visit Suyu. She couldn't let him continue to be so depressed. At this moment, her phone rang. It was a video call from Qin Shu. Qin Shu was using the same number as before. Huamin's heart warmed up at the familiarity that she hadn't felt in a long time. Honey, the moment she saw Qin Shu, Huamin instantly turned into a shy girl. Honey, have you eaten? Not yet. I had a long meeting this morning. Are you tired? No. I'm used to it. What are you guys doing? I brought pudding and Little Bean to eat at Aoxine's Ramen. I can't believe you guys went to Aoxine's Ramen without me. Our friendship is over. Huamin was actually jealous of her daughter. She pouted and looked very cute. Oh my God, I didn't know Mommy had such a side to her. She's so scary. Little Bean was dumbfounded. Chapter 1816. It's nothing strange. All women act like this when they see the man they love. Mommy is rational, but in the end, I'm still a woman. Pudding sipped her soda calmly. Okay, so Mommy is also a cute girl, Pudding exclaimed. When you're free, we'll come again as a family of 4. Qin Shu smiled dotingly. Did you miss me today? As soon as Huamin asked, before Qin Shu could reply, Pudding couldn't sit still anymore. Mommy, you've only been apart for less than 4 hours. How can you ask that? Mommy, you're so silly and sweet when you're in love. TSK, what an eye-opener, Pudding interrupted. You too. Shut up. Don't disturb me when I'm talking to Daddy. Pudding, she's been very emotional lately. Pudding, is it because she got older? Pudding, unlikely. After all, she's only 28 years old. Pudding, then it's because her husband is back and she's become arrogant. Pudding, that makes sense. Then let's not mess with her for the time being. Pudding, why don't we tell her to move to Handsome Sue's place for a few days? Pudding, huh? Good idea, but you should tell her. Pudding, why me and not you? Pudding, because acting cute and kissing up to people is your strength. Pudding, you're talking as if you've never done that before. Don't pretend to be a white lotus in front of me. Be careful, or you'll be slapped in the face. Huamin, are you two done arguing? Qin Zhao Zhao, Qin Mumu? Pudding, Mommy, calm down. Pudding, you have to be gentle in front of Daddy. Otherwise, which man can stand a tigress after a long time? It's fine if she's not pretty, but if she's not virtuous, then don't blame others. Huamin, Qin Shu, who were standing on the side, couldn't help but burst out laughing. When was the last time he was so happy? In the past, he had always thought that his wife had a sharp tongue and was very eloquent. The student had surpassed the master. His two daughters had defeated their mother in a matter of seconds. They had actually managed to drive Huamin crazy. It looks like I really have to think about sending you to kindergarten. You can't stay at home. Huamin's face darkened. It was so embarrassing to lose to her daughter in an argument in front of her husband. Forget about kindergarten. There's a generation gap between me and those kids. I don't have anything in common with them, Pudding said in disdain. I don't want to go either. It's a waste of my time. Why don't we just take the elementary school graduation exam and go to middle school? Little Bean suggested. You guys are only 3 years old. 3 years old. Huamin emphasized. I know. It's because we're only 3 years old that we have to go to the boring middle school. If we were older, we would have gone straight to the high school. After all, there are more young men there, Pudding said proudly. Huamin, on the other hand, was so shocked that he didn't know what to say. Honey, why don't we give our daughters away and have another child? Honey, how can we do that? I can't bear to part with my precious daughters. Qin Shu couldn't stop laughing. Why was it that, after becoming a father, he felt completely different from before? He laughed a lot more than before. As long as he had daughters at home, everything would be fine. If Mommy gives us to Handsome Sue, we can consider it. But if it's someone else, forget it. They can't afford to raise us. It's too expensive. Little Bean was infatuated again. Honey, look at them. They're always talking back to me. They're so young, and they're already so rebellious. What will they do when they grow up? So, Mr. Qin, I'm seriously reminding you that you have to control your daughters. Huamin complained like a spoiled child. Chapter 1817. Qin Shu turned around and glanced at his two daughters. Little Bean continued to play. Cute. Daddy, Mommy is being irrational, but you can't be irrational. We don't want to be your bargaining chip and cannon fodder. Look at our names. You won't have the heart to blame us. Qin Zhao Zhao and Qin Mumu. Zhao Zhao and Mumu. Zhao Zhao and Mumu. If they loved each other for a long time, they wouldn't be together day and night. You can see how much Mommy missed you back then. We were born to be your scapegoat. Daddy, do you really have the heart to bully us? Pudding looked at Little Bean with puppy eyes and said, Good girl, Daddy understands. Daddy loves you guys very much and won't blame you. Qin Shu really couldn't bring himself to do it. Honey, are you betraying us? Are you on their side? Do you have any principles? Huamin was speechless. Honey, they're your daughters too. You should go easy on them. Qin Shu comforted gently. Huamin was speechless. Very good. You three just wait. I'll deal with you guys after I get off work. In the end, Qin Shu and his two daughters were on the same side, while Huamin was helpless and hung up the video call angrily. Is Mommy angry? Little Bean was worried. No, she's just throwing a tantrum in front of Daddy. She hopes that Daddy can coax her. Women all have their little tricks up their sleeves. Okay, I'll learn this trick too. I'll use it against Handsome Sue in the future. Little Bean smiled wickedly. Huamin had been busy at the company for the whole day. When it was almost time to get off work, Huamin couldn't sit still. He kept looking at his watch. President Hua, what's wrong? Do you have something going on tonight? Bella was confused. Do you have plans tonight? Just a dinner party. It's not very important. Oh, then let Jixin go in my place, Huamin said slowly. And okay. Bella, actually, I want to leave early. Huamin stuttered. Bella, you're the president. You can leave whenever you want. You don't have to leave early, haha. Bella felt that President Hua was becoming more and more adorable. I don't think that's a good idea. After all, this is my job. Huamin was in a difficult position. It's all right. Go ahead, President Hua. We understand. President Qin has just returned, so it's inevitable that you two will have more time together as husband and wife. Bella snickered. Then, help me keep an eye on them. If anything happens, just call me. All right. With Bella's words, Huamin rushed downstairs without any hesitation and drove straight home. On the way, he received a call from Jiang Xiaowei. Mian, are you still at the company? No, I got off work. I'm on my way home. Oh, is it convenient for you to come to the first hospital? Xiaowei, what's wrong? Huamin had a bad feeling when he heard Huamin mention the first hospital. Mian, did you know that Lord Su is sick? Sick? When? Huamin froze slightly, and his hands paused on the steering wheel. He's already in the hospital. I just received a call from Wei Liao. Tang Chuan and the others are all there, as is Auntie Su. Xiaowei, what's wrong with Su Yu? Is it serious? Huamin asked worriedly. He was just thinking about how to comfort Su Yu when he got sick. Who knew that such a strong man could be so fragile? Chapter 1818. High fever. We don't know what's causing it yet. We'll have to analyze the situation before we can make a conclusion. Okay, I got it. I'll go home first and go with Mr. Qin and the others. You guys go together? Jiang Xiaowei was a bit surprised. Pudding and Little Bean have always been close to Su Yu. If they know he's sick, they'll definitely make a scene. Plus, it's not appropriate for me to see Su Yu alone. I think the more we see him, the more pain he'll be in. I think it's better to go with Mr. Qin and see if he can let go of his obsession. Okay, I know what you mean. I'll go with my son in a bit. See you later. Okay. After the phone call with Xiaowei, Huamin drove back to South Hill Manor. Mommy, thank you for your hard work. I love you. Seeing Huamian come back, Little Bean immediately ran to her and threw herself into her arms. Then, she started acting like a spoiled child. Pudding held Qin Chu's hand and watched coldly from behind. Daddy, see? I was right. Little Bean is a bootlicker. She's really good at sweet-talking people. She's probably afraid that your mommy will come after you guys because of what happened today. Mommy won't. She's a woman with a tough mouth but a soft heart, Pudding analyzed. Qin Chu tilted his head and looked at Pudding lovingly. Okay, this boss was really his biological one. They were so much alike. No matter what the situation was, she was always calm and collected. Honey, you're back just in time. Let's eat. Let's not talk for now. We need to go to the first hospital. Huamin didn't have time to change his shoes. What's wrong? Su Yu is in the hospital. They said he has a high fever. The Su family is all there. Xiaowei just called me. I think we should go and see him. Okay, let's go now. Qin Chu nodded, agreeing with Huamin. He held Pudding's hand and walked out. Hearing that Su Yu was hospitalized, Pudding and Little Bean looked very nervous. Oh my God, is handsome Su sick? Little Bean exclaimed. Mommy, let's go now. Otherwise, we'll be stuck in traffic during rush hour. Pudding couldn't wait any longer. The family of four left just like that because there was a limited number of people in the sports car. Therefore, Qin Chu drove his original Maybach to the first hospital with his wife and child. Entrance of the VIP ward, Mian. You're here. Lady Su looked haggard. Grandma Su, don't be sad. Handsome Su will be fine. Pudding comforted her. Grandma Su, I've missed you for the past 2 days. Sob, sob. Let me hug you first. Little Bean continued to bootlick and act coquettishly. Lady Su liked the twins very much. She immediately squatted down, kissed one of them, and hugged the other. She loved them dearly from the bottom of her heart. Auntie, how's Su Yu? Huamin looked worried. The test results aren't out yet. I'm waiting too. This kid is so troublesome. I always thought he was in good health. How did he become like this all of a sudden? Tang Chuan and Wei Liao went downstairs to buy water. When they came back, they saw Huamin and Qin Chu. Tang Chuan didn't look too good. At a time like this, Lord Su wouldn't want to see your family reunited, right? Dr. Hua, I think you shouldn't provoke Lord Su. After all, he only has one life. Tang Chuan said sarcastically. Wei Liao even mocked him, reminding him not to cross the line. Chapter 1819. Ever since Qin Chu came back and Huamin returned home, Tang Chuan had been very angry. Although Wei Liao tried to comfort him several times, Tang Chuan was too straightforward and couldn't help but make sarcastic remarks. Chuan, how can you say that? Mian's family is here to visit you. He'll be happy, Lady Su corrected him. Auntie, Tang Chuan seemed very unhappy. Just then, the door to the ward opened and the doctor who examined Suyu walked out. Doctor, how's my son? Lady Su immediately went up and asked. Young Master Su's condition has stabilized. It's not a big problem. It's just that he hasn't been eating and resting well recently, which caused his immune system to drop rapidly. We've already given him an injection to reduce his fever, and he's on a nutrient drip now. You can go in and visit him now. Okay. Thank you, doctor. Then, Lady Su led everyone into the ward. Su was slowly waking up. If it weren't for Tang Chuan's frequent visits to his house, he would have been in bed for a long time already. He didn't even know that he had a fever and was delirious from it. You're all here. It's just a small matter. There's no need to make such a big fuss. Su forced a smile. Handsome Su, I was so worried about you. Little Bean couldn't help but cry. Then, she ran over and lay down in front of Suyu's bed. Little Bean, don't cry. Uncle Su is fine. Suyu comforted the little girl gently. Pudding also walked over slowly. Compared to Little Bean, she wasn't as outgoing and didn't like to show her emotions on her face. Pudding was more introverted, so she didn't cry out loud. Instead, tears welled up in her eyes. Handsome Su, you have to get better soon. You promised me that you'd teach me how to race. Shoo, can you lower your voice? Your mommy will skin me alive. Suyu was scared out of his wits. If Huamin knew that Suyu taught Pudding how to race, he would probably go crazy. Don't worry. Mommy has daddy now. She doesn't have time for us, Pudding said in a low voice. Suyu couldn't help but laugh, and then he patted Pudding's head lovingly. Because there were too many people, there were some things that were too embarrassing to say. Qin Chu and Huamin sat for a while before leaving. Pudding and Little Bean didn't want to leave, so they stayed. In a while, Shaolin would personally escort them away. On the way back, Qin Chu was silent. Honey, what are you thinking about? I was thinking, why do my daughters seem so sad about Suyu? Haha, you just realized. Huamin laughed heartily at Mr. Qin's lack of awareness. Were they like this before? They've been like this since they were little. Actually, kids are very innocent. They'll treat whoever treats them well. In the past few years, Suyu has been treating them well in various ways, giving them everything they want. They definitely like Suyu a lot. That's normal. Why? Are you jealous? No. I'm just worried about something. What is it? Huamin froze for a second when he saw how serious Qin Chu was. When they grow up, they won't turn their feelings and dependence into feelings for each other, right? Qin Chu was really worried. He originally thought that Pudding and Little Bean were just joking, but now it seemed that the sisters really did treat Suyu differently. So, Mr. Qin had to start thinking about life again. Ha ha ha, you're killing me. Huamin burst out laughing when he heard Qin Chu's worries. Chapter 1820. Honey, can you not laugh so crazily? Qin Chu was speechless. I can't believe you have such thoughts. You're amazing. Haven't you noticed that the twins have a strong reaction to Suyu? I have. They've always been like this. Don't be surprised. They often tell me that they want to marry Suyu when they grow up. They often argue about who Suyu likes more. But they're just kids. When they grow up and understand the relationship between a man and a woman, they won't feel this way anymore. It's not just because of the age gap. The most important thing is that they don't even know what kind of feelings they have for Suyu. What kind of feelings do you think they have? Qin Chu tilted his head and looked at Huamin seriously. I think it's a very subtle feeling. It's a little lighter than the feeling of a father, but it's also deeper than an ordinary elder. It's a kind of extreme dependence and love. But in the end, it's still the feeling of an elder. You're right. I hope you're right. I don't want my daughters to marry an old man in the future. Plus, that old man is an old acquaintance of mine. Huamin burst out laughing. What are you laughing at? Do you want Su Yu to call you mother-in-law in the future? Honey, you've changed in the past 4 years. What changed? Qin Chu was confused. You become childish. Your IQ has plummeted. Ha! Huamin laughed happily. Qin Chu, on the other hand, was dumbfounded. It was rare that they didn't have to take the twins with them, so Huamin suggested that they eat something before going home. Qin Chu and Huamin held hands and found a clean Chinese restaurant just like they did when they were teenagers. After dinner, they went to the nearby Rainbow Square to enjoy the night view, which was rare. At 7 o'clock in the evening, the northern winter was already dark and the cold wind was blowing gently. However, that didn't stop the enthusiastic citizens from entertaining themselves in the spacious and beautiful square. The aunties were dancing in the square, and the children were riding on the scooters. There were even small accessories, nail clippers, hair clips, and everything else that the old grandfathers and grandmothers had set up stalls to sell. Huamin was wearing a beige cashmere coat and a light green scarf. She held Qin Chu's arm tightly. She suddenly felt that this winter was not so cold. Qin Chu was wearing a black casual jacket. He didn't look like a man in his early 30s at all. Perhaps it was because he was too handsome, so when he walked on the streets, he would often attract the attention of many girls. Every time this happened, Huamin would feel a sense of superiority. Such a handsome Mr. Qin would only belong to her. This pride was the greatest affirmation she had for Mr. Qin and herself. Honey, are you cold? Qin Chu held Huamin's hand. I'm not cold. Let's walk a little longer. Okay. Qin Chu nodded. He held Huamin's hand and slowly walked on the small path in the square. Honey, yeah? These 4 years must have been hard for you, right? Huamin asked softly. It wasn't hard. Everything I did for you guys was worth it. Upon hearing this, Huamin felt a lump in her throat. Mr. Qin never talked about his 4 years in Seattle in detail, and he only mentioned the complicated and terrifying surgeries. However, Huamin could feel his pain. Every time she thought about how Qin Chu was forced to leave her and how much inhumane pain he suffered, Huamin wanted to stab Huasiqian dozens of times to vent her anger. Do you have any plans for now? Huamin took a deep breath. She was afraid that Qin Chu would feel sad as well, so she changed the topic. What are you talking about? Huasiqian. Huamin replied in a low voice. Yeah, I have plans and I'm already implementing them. Qin Chu smiled faintly with his usual confidence. Huamin was slightly surprised. She looked up at him. Before Huamin could ask more, Qin Chu lowered his head and gently kissed her cold lips. Then, he slowly nibbled on her lips with endless love. Chapter 1821. How long had it been since Huamin and Qin Chu had a romantic moment together? She had almost forgotten how it felt. Now, Qin Chu's passionate kiss made her feel as if she had returned to her shy teenage years. Huamin was already 28 years old. Her twin daughters were already 3 years old, so she was no longer a teenage girl. However, Qin Chu was the only man who could make her heart flutter and turn her into a naive, innocent, and sweet man. She thought that no one in the world could give her this feeling other than Qin Chu. Qin Chu and Huamin kissing in public was a small matter. It was normal for a married couple to be lovey-dovey. The problem was there were abnormal people following them. Over the past few years, Huasiqian couldn't get close to Huamin, but his obsession didn't decrease. Instead, it deepened. He seemed to want to see Huamin's every move. He had several cabinets full of Huamin's photos. Over the past 3 years, no matter if it was Huamin attending meetings, attending ribbon-cutting ceremonies, business dinners, negotiating business deals, going on personal trips, or accompanying his daughters to the amusement park, Huasiqian's people would always follow him around and take countless photos. Inside the Huam Manor, Huasiqian looked at these photos with a gloomy expression on his face. Boss, why don't we do it tonight? Are you brainless? If Qin Chu wasn't fully prepared, how could he come back in time? Since he's back, it means that he's always on guard. If you do it tonight, I can guarantee that all of us will die. Huasiqian had always been cautious when doing things. Yes, you're right. Huasiqian's fingers trembled slightly as he held onto the photos. Qin Chu and Huamian kissed in public without a care for their image. This wasn't lovey-dovey, this was cutting into his heart. If Suyu was in pain, he could show it. But for Hua Xiqian, this was an internal injury. He had no way of showing his internal injuries. Boss, Miss Imo is here. Upon hearing this, Hua Xiqian swiftly put away the photos, placed them in his desk drawer, and stood up. Imo Shui walked in. She was wearing a strapless dress and a gray fur coat. She looked as elegant and classy as ever. Imo Shui continued to pester Hua Xiqian for the past few years, but Hua Xiqian no longer touched her. Other than occasionally fooling around with Jiang Yi, she also made a bunch of shady friends. Although they were all rich kids in the circle of rich people, they were also notorious young thugs. Compared to Su Yu and Tang Chuan, they were simply not on the same level. Imo Shui was still a celebrity under Hua Xiqian's company, but Hua Xiqian no longer supported her. He seemed to be disappointed in her. Xiqian, you don't look well. Are you in a bad mood? Imo Shui walked over with a smile. Why are you here? I missed you. We've been together for so many years. We've been together longer than some couples. You know how much I love you. Don't you think it's funny that you're saying this? Ha! I'm really here to see you out of the goodness of my heart. Xiqian, you can't keep people at arm's length. Qin Shu is back. You're going to be in big trouble. He's not the type to let you go, so what? Do you think I'm afraid of him? He's just Qin Shu. I kicked him out 4 years ago. 4 years later, I'll still make sure he's unable to make a comeback. What if Qin Shu and Su Yu team up? Imo Shui asked with a smile. Do you think that's possible? Qin Shu is such an arrogant person. Why would he team up with Su Yu to go against me? Hua Xiqian sneered. Chapter 1822. He knew Qin Shu too well. All these years, he had been so cold and aloof. No matter how difficult it was, he would never team up with Su Yu. That might not be the case. Things have changed. I heard. Imo Shui purposely paused. What did you hear? I heard that Hua means 2 little bastards are very close to Su Yu. If the children mediate between them, it won't be difficult for them to team up. I'm afraid you won't be able to handle it. Why would I be afraid of 2 little kids? Shui. Have you been taking too many drugs lately? You're starting to talk nonsense. Hua Xiqian disliked Imo Shui more and more compared to when they first met. Hua Xiqian liked the innocent little girl more. Her eyes were clear, and her smile was a little shy. Not this scheming person who was two-faced in front and two-faced in the back. Imo Shui might be a goddess in the eyes of her fans, but in Hua Xiqian's eyes, she was now a real whore. Hua Xiqian didn't care about what she said. She wasn't persuasive at all. If you think that way, you'll regret it. If I were you, I'd find a chance to kidnap those 2 little bastards. Then, whether it's Qin Shu, Hua Min, or Su Yu, they'll all surrender. Let's end the conversation here. I'm a little tired. I'll send Ms. Imo out. Hua Xiqian felt like Imo Shui was getting more and more ridiculous. If it was so easy to catch the twins, he wouldn't be so troubled. He couldn't get Hua Min. Were the twins that easy to catch? Imo Shui was speaking like she didn't care about her back. You can't even do it for your own good. You don't want to listen to anything I say. You're already in your 30s. Let's see how long you can be stubborn. Ha! You be pitiful if you don't even have children in the end. Imo Shui said sarcastically. In the past, Hua Xiqian would have rushed down and slapped Imo Shui so hard that she saw stars. But now he wouldn't. He didn't want to say another word to this crazy woman. Therefore, when Hua Xiqian heard Imo Shui's sarcasm, he stopped in his tracks and said without turning his head, You better keep a low profile for a while. If you cause any trouble, don't blame me for what happens next. Imo Shui saw Yin Ruashi walking in when she was about to leave. Oh, isn't this the heiress of a rich family? Imo Shui held a cigarette in her hand and smiled faintly. Miss Imo, what a coincidence, you're here too. Yin Ruashi wasn't familiar with Imo Shui. She only knew that Imo Shui was Hua Xiqian's ex-girlfriend, so she wasn't friendly to her. I'm Miss Xiqian, so I came to see him. Oh, right. Miss Yin, Xiqian has a lot of stamina. You have to eat more, or he won't be happy if you can't serve him. Huh. Then, Emo Shui, or let out two lewd laughs and left. Yin Ruashi's face was gloomy. Qian Qian. Yin Ruashi stood at the bedroom door and called out Huasi Qian's name coquettishly. Why are you here? I missed you. There's a big Marvel movie coming out. It's called Doctor or something. It's really good. Come with me, I just bought 2 tickets. It's the premiere. I don't have time. I have a video conference later. Oh, it's okay. We can watch it tomorrow or when you're free. Yin Ruashi smiled as she walked in. She sat on the sofa and looked at Huasi Qian lovingly. Ruashi, yeah? I'm not suitable for you, Huasi Qian said in all seriousness as he looked at Yin Ruashi. Chapter 1823. If it was before, Huasi Qian would have used this brainless woman just like he used Song Yishur. But now, he really didn't have time to think about her. He only felt a growing sense of crisis. He couldn't deal with Su Yu, and now Qin Shu was back. Mo Shui was right. He was in a difficult situation. Right now, he only wanted to get Huamin as soon as possible. Nothing else mattered. No one is born for each other. It's because we don't know each other that we're slowly getting used to each other. I've been very happy to be by your side for the past 3 years. But I'm not happy. I don't like you at all. You're still young. Don't waste your time. Huasi Qian waved his hand as if he wanted to send Yin Ruashi away. So, are you trying to tell me that you've always had a woman in your heart, and her name is Huamin? Yin Ruashi asked with a smile as she looked at Huasi Qian. It doesn't matter who I like. Don't try to be smart. I hate women who pretend to be smart when they're actually stupid. I'm not trying to be smart. I know what you're thinking. But Qian, you have to know that Huamin doesn't love you. Plus, even if young Master Su treats her so well, she didn't even give him a loving hug after being with him for 3 or 4 years. Who do you think you are? Yin Ruashi? My family matters have nothing to do with you. You should go back. Then, Huasi Qian rudely pulled off his tie and turned to leave. He left Yin Ruashi alone in his bedroom. Inside the VIP room at the first hospital, Handsome Su, do you want some water? Pudding asked. Su Yu shook his head. Thanks, Pudding, but I don't drink water. Handsome Su, do you want a piece of jelly bean? It's orange-flavored. She carefully took out a piece of jelly bean from the pocket of her floral dress. No, thanks, little bean. Su Yu looked at the sisters lovingly. Tang Chuan couldn't stand it anymore. He chewed on his gum and reprimanded them. You two, don't play games here. I know you two are smart and full of stuff. Why don't you go back and persuade your mommy not to continue torturing Lord Su? He's miserable enough, really. Ever since he met your mother a few years ago, he hasn't had a good day. What nonsense are you talking about? Su Yu glared at Tang Chuan. Am I not telling the truth? That's the truth, isn't it? I'd say you're an idiot. She treated you like a spare tire. When her husband wasn't back, she kept you hanging. But when her husband came back, she immediately kicked you away. Lord Su, even if you don't feel pain, I feel pain for you. Tang Chuan was really angry. When he said this, only Wei Liao, Su Yu, and the twins were in the room. Luckily, Lady Su wasn't here, or else she would be furious. Little Bean lowered her head, thinking about how to fight back against Tang Chuan. She turned her head, glanced at Tang Chuan's face, and asked, Uncle Tang, do you enjoy meddling in other people's business? Do you know that in China, there's an old saying that goes the eunuch is more anxious than the emperor? Huh? Little girl, what do you mean? Tang Chuan looked at Little Bean, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. My sister's meaning is very clear. She means that Handsome Su is the emperor and you're the eunuch. Little Bean explained patiently. Tang Chuan, Little Bean, no one will like you if you talk like that. Don't worry, there are many people who don't like us. Who do you think you are? Little Bean continued to add insult to injury. I say, you two little things are really Uncle Tang at your age. You should take care of your kidney and not worry about other people's business. No matter what happens between Handsome Su and Mommy, it's none of your business. Even if Mommy really owes Handsome Su and wronged him, it's all up to Handsome Su. As long as Handsome Su is happy, Tang Chuan. See, now that the twins are teaching you a lesson, you'll be obedient and won't bully Huamin anymore. Wei Liao laughed. Old Wei, I'm telling you, You can't have a daughter-in-law like her. She's too scary. Tang Chuan couldn't help but laugh. The problem is, even if my son wants to marry her, she might not marry him. Wei Liao continued to joke. Pudding glanced at Tang Chuan indifferently and turned to ask Su Yu. Handsome Su, tell me, has Mommy really treated you as a spare tire these years? Did she purposely leave you hanging? Today, I have to make things clear so that no one will always use words to attack my mommy and bully her kindness. Chapter 1824. Of course not. Your Uncle Su is so smart. How could I be treated as a spare tire? What a joke, Su Yu answered without hesitation. Humph. Ask Lord Su. Of course he won't tell you. He's so protective of your mommy. Tang Chuan was obviously not satisfied. Uncle Wei, what do you think? Pudding turned around and looked at Wei Liao. Huh? Wei Liao obviously didn't expect to be implicated. Pudding immediately ran over and held Wei Liao's hand. Yes, Uncle Wei, you said that you're an outsider. You should be the most convincing. I think, that your mommy wouldn't treat Lord Su as a spare tire. After all, he's not even a spare tire right now. Damn it. Wei Liao, are you trying to belittle me? Su Yu was so angry that he almost sat up. Ha! See, you're not even a spare tire. Tang Chuan laughed. I mean, although you're not as good as a spare tire, it's a good thing. Spare tires aren't worth much. Plus, only a car that always breaks down needs a spare tire. Huamin only has one real husband. Let's not fantasize here, Wei Liao analyzed. Uncle Wei's words are very pertinent and very convincing. There are 5 people in the room right now, and the vote is 4-1, Tang Chuan. So, Uncle Tang, please don't talk nonsense in the future. If I hear you bad-mouthing Mommy behind her back again, Pudding said very slowly. Tang Chuan crossed his arms and laughed. What will you do to me? We have many ways to deal with you. Don't challenge our patience, and don't challenge my sister's psychological defenses. She's very scary. Pudding said. After Pudding said this, everyone laughed. At this moment, Lady Su came in with a nurse and changed Su Yu's for. Little Bean, Pudding, are you guys hungry? Grandma will take you to eat. Lady Su looked at the twins lovingly. Grandma Su, we're done eating. As long as Handsome Su is fine, we should go home. So soon. Grandma hasn't spent enough time with you guys. Lady Su was reluctant to leave. Little Bean ran over and hugged Lady Su's leg, acting cute. Grandma Su, don't be sad. We'll come to see you later. We also have to see Grandpa Lord Su and Great-Grandpa. You have to make us your best grape and osmanthus cake. Okay. Grandma will make whatever you want to eat. Lady Su felt that her heart was about to melt. Grandma Su, is Uncle outside? Pudding asked calmly. Yes. Let him send you back. Okay. Pudding nodded. Then, she turned around and looked at Su Yu. Handsome Su, get well soon. Okay, I'm fine. Don't worry and don't come back and forth. It's too dangerous. Su Yu was worried. Handsome Su, if you want to eat anything, remember to tell me. I'll ask the maid to make it for you, Little Bean added. If you want to eat, just say so. Don't use Handsome Su as an excuse. Pudding glanced at her sister helplessly. Impossible. I really care about Handsome Su. All right, stop arguing, you two. Go home quickly. Be careful on the road. Call Uncle when you get home. Su Yu reminded them. Okay, we'll go now. Be good. Little Bean looked at Su Yu reluctantly. I'll be good. Su Yu smiled. Good girl, don't flirt with the nurse. Pudding said proudly and walked out before anyone could react. Chapter 1825. Pudding's words were like a bolt of lightning. After the twins left, the room became much quieter. Oh my God, they're finally gone. Tang Chuan let out a long sigh, feeling much more relaxed. Don't mess with the twins. They're very powerful. Even Huamin has a headache. Wei Liao laughed. To be honest, Tang Chuan, have lived for so long, but I've never seen such an amazing kid. Is he even a kid? I feel like they're going to become spirits. It can't be helped. Their parents' genes are too strong. In this generation, just think of it as a genetic mutation. What do you think, Lord Su? Wei Liao looked at Su Yu with a smile. Even if Pudding and Little Bean are young and old, they're still kids. Their thoughts are still very simple. Kids only care about good and evil. Adults only care about benefits and losses. That's very rare. I like them a lot. Sometimes I greedily wish that they were my daughters. Huh. After saying this, Suyu smiled bitterly. All right, can you stop dreaming? She's not even your wife. So how can the kids be yours? If you ask me, you should either find a rich girl and get married to her and live a normal life, or you can continue to fool around like you used to and drink with your female artists every day. Isn't that great? Why go down the path of one-sided love? Sooner or later, you'll be tortured to death. Tang Chuan began to persuade Suyu again. I don't think this path is difficult. In fact, from the moment little Mian moved into the Su family until now, these 4 years have been the happiest of my life. I know I'm too greedy, but compared to Qin Shu, I'm much happier. Although he met Huamin when they were young, they separated due to various misunderstandings. Until now, they've been separated for 11 years. To Qin Shu, who loves Huamin deeply, that's an unspeakable pain, a pain that no one else can see. Huh, are you speaking up for your love rival? Tang Chuan was speechless. No, I'm just stating facts. All right, let's stop talking about this. Did you two come here empty-handed? Didn't you bring any gifts? You guys are so rude. So you changed the topic. Tang Chuan and Wei Liao were dumbfounded when the twins arrived home. It was already past 8 p.m. The kitchen had prepared desserts and snacks, and Huamin was having a video conference upstairs. Downstairs, Qin Shu's eyes. He sat between the two sisters and carefully blew on the 8-treasure longan porridge to cool it down. Then, he fed them a mouthful of pudding. Daddy, I want one too. Little Bean's eyes immediately turned red. Of course, Qin Shu said, of course, of a little puppies of porridge. Daddy, where did you and Mommy go today? Little Bean asked curiously. We went to eat and then went to Rainbow Square for a walk. Rainbow Square? There are a lot of aunties there. Why did you guys go there? Daddy, you have bad taste. Pudding pointed at the square. Qin Shu smiled faintly. That square means a lot to me and your mommy. We used to go there when we were young. Now, we go there for the sake of nostalgia. It has nothing to do with the environment or atmosphere. Okay. But speaking of which, Daddy, you're so handsome and have such a good family background. Mommy really isn't beautiful enough, nor is she gentle enough. Her family background is also very ordinary. When you were in second high, there were so many girls. Why did you choose her? Did your domineering mommy force you to be her boyfriend? Pudding was curious. Chapter 1826. Pudding finally couldn't take it anymore. She put down her spoon and interrupted. Qin Moo, can you grow a brain? Don't ask Daddy to answer such a simple question. It's fate. Who likes who? What does it have to do with looks? Mommy isn't pretty or gentle, but she's charming. That's the most important thing for a woman. If you rely on your looks, it's not wise. I don't think Daddy is a shallow man who only looks at a woman's face. Please, sis, don't try to fool me with the stories you read in magazines and on TV. It's one thing for handsome Sue and Uncle Wei to be fooled by you. They always think that you're an old man. In fact, you're just an armchair strategist. You're just copying other people's words. It's not convincing to me. I want to hear it from Daddy himself. Pudding, for the first time, she was rendered speechless by Pudding's rebuttal. In fact, Pudding was right. Pudding always said things that adults said. Not all of them came from her own head, but she learned most of them. Sometimes, she heard from Huamin that she learned from watching TV. Other times, she would look for books to read. However, because she didn't know many rare words, she would read them out loud. In this way, Pudding wasn't that amazing. She just had a good memory and fast reflexes. Be good. Don't argue. Daddy will answer. Every time Qin Shu saw his daughters argue, he felt conflicted. Pudding looked up at Qin Shu expectantly. Actually, love is a very magical thing. It doesn't wait for you to be ready. Most of the time, when you meet someone, you're caught off guard. The first time I saw your mommy, it was on TV. At that time, I had a very subtle feeling that this woman would be my wife in the future. Wow. Daddy, you're indeed a bossy president. You're really bossy. Pudding clapped her hands to flatter her daddy. After being scolded by Pudding, Pudding's aura was completely gone. She sat on the side in silence, seeming to have suffered a big blow. I heard that you two are also very bossy. Do you often bully Wei Yunshu and Gaobo Yuan? Speaking of this, Qin Shu wanted to laugh. Huamin had already told him. Not only did they bully Wei Yunshu, who was a few months older than them, but they also bullied Gao Puyin, who couldn't speak. Gao Ran's son was so scared that when he saw them, he twisted his little butt and ran away. On the other hand, Wei Yunshu would often be cornered by the two sisters and forced to ask who was prettier. Just by imagining it, one could tell that it was a heart-wrenching drama. We didn't bully them. We're so kind. We love our brothers very much, Little Bean explained with a smile. Do you really love your brothers very much? Qin Shu asked with a smile. Sometimes, maybe we'll tease them, but we won't really bully them. After all, we're so close and don't want things to get too bad. We won't make things difficult for Mommy. Little Bean continued to smile slyly. At this moment, Qin Shu turned around and looked at the depressed Pudding. He immediately picked her up and put her on his lap. Pudding, don't mind Little Bean's words. You're both very outstanding and are Daddy's good daughters. Daddy, are we geniuses? Qin Shu obviously didn't expect his daughter to ask this and was slightly surprised. We've been called geniuses since we were born, so I really want to prove that I'm a genius. I heard that Mommy has a high IQ and EQ, and Daddy is also a fast learner. You can do anything well, and we don't want to embarrass you. We don't want people to say that we're not as good as you. Pudding, you're thinking too much. This isn't something you should be thinking about at your age. You two just need to be happy and safe. You're Mommy, and I don't need you to be geniuses. You're just our daughters, that's all. Qin Shu's words made tears glisten in his daughter's eyes at this moment. Huamin walked downstairs. Honey. Her expression was serious. Qin Shu carefully put down Pudding and walked over. Huamin picked up the news page on his phone and showed it to Qin Shu. Breaking news just happened. Take a look. Chapter 1827. The news said, National Goddess Mo Sure is suspected of allowing others to take drugs and has been detained by the police. As soon as this news came out, it immediately caused an earthquake. Mo Shui had been in the entertainment industry for years and was extremely popular. She was now a godlike figure. She had over 50 million fans on Weibo, and any movie she starred in would earn over 100 million yuan. It was hard to believe that such a high and mighty person would be exposed in such a scandal. After all, most people didn't know how complicated the entertainment industry was. After reading the news, Qin Shu's expression was still very calm. Honey, did you do this? Which one are you referring to? Qin Shu looked at Huamin affectionately. Huamian thought for a moment and said slowly, I don't think Mo Shuer's been doing drugs and allowing others to do drugs for a long time, but she's been fine for a while now. Now that she's been exposed and detained by the police, it must have something to do with you. This is just the beginning. The whole corporation scandals will only increase. So are we going to confront Hua Xiqian head-on? Huamin asked. MHM, are you scared? Qin Shu looked at her gently. No, I'm not scared of anyone with you. This time, no matter if we win or lose, I will fight with you until the end. Of course, I don't think that we can't deal with that scumbag, Hua Xiqian, even if we work together. The difficult one isn't Hua Xiqian, honey. I know, the difficult one is the one you keep talking about. The psychopathic terrorist that even my father and sister are afraid of. MHM, Ian is more difficult to deal with. But this time, I'm going to take care of them all. That way, you won't have to worry about anything in the future. The truth was whether it was Hua Xiqian or Ian, they were both Huamin's problems. If Qin Shu wasn't with Huamin, he could have stayed out of it. However, he insisted on getting involved, to the extent that he didn't even care about his own life. Such deep love was truly admirable. Honey, do you think that falling in love with me is really troublesome? Huamin felt a little guilty. If it weren't for her, Qin Shu's life would have been smooth, brilliant, and glorious. He was born in a wealthy family and was talented and intelligent. He could go abroad to further his studies, and he could also go back home to inherit the family business. Then, he would marry a socialite's daughter and live a smooth life. He wouldn't have to live in fear all the time and bear all the pressure. He had even been stranded in a foreign land for many years and could not even be by his side when his wife was pregnant and had children. Every time he thought about this, Huamin's heart ached. Sometimes, she felt a little inferior and thought that Qin Chu falling in love with her was the tragedy of Qin Chu's life. Qin Chu could tell that Huamin's emotions were fluctuating. He wrapped his arms around her slender waist. "Honey, I'm not afraid of trouble. If you're so troublesome, don't bother others. I'll punish you for the rest of my life." Upon hearing his words, Huamin laughed with tears in his eyes. The two of them looked at each other in silence. Ahem. Daddy, Mommy, are you guys going to watch an 8 p.m. romance drama again? The dialogue is so melodramatic, Little Bean complained. It's late. I think we should go to bed. Little Bean, if you continue to be a third wheel, you really don't understand romance. With that, Pudding jumped down from the chair and went straight to her room. Little Bean made a face at Qin Chu and Huamin and followed her sister upstairs to her room. "You two little brats, slow down. Don't bump into each other." The nanny carefully followed behind them. Huamin looked embarrassed. It was indeed a little awkward to have two little brats being affectionate in the house. "Huamanchen, boss, look at the news. Something happened to Miss Mo." When Huasiqian saw the news, he was furious. Chapter 1828. Recently, Mo Shui was working with an overseas company, and it was going to be released in half a month. The whole corporation had invested hundreds of millions into the project, and now that this news was out, the consequences were unimaginable. That bitch. I told her to take it easy, but she still got into trouble. "Boss, Qin Chu must have done this. What's the point of worrying about who did it? What's important is how to fix it." Huasiqian was so angry that he called Mayor Yan. "Mayor, did you see the news just now? President Hua, I was just about to call you to talk about this. What the hell is going on? How could such a mistake happen?" Mayor Yan's tone was filled with dissatisfaction. "I'm sorry, Mayor, but I think there must be some misunderstanding. Maybe a rival company is trying to smear my name. So, I hope you can help me suppress this." "How do you want me to suppress it?" The Municipal Public Security Bureau arrested him directly. The Narcotics Department received a report. Also, Director Gao Sun is now the Deputy Director of the Municipal Public Security Bureau. That person is very serious. I think it would be even more difficult for me to handle this. Senior leaders all like to talk in a bureaucratic manner. Upon hearing Mayor Yan's words, Huasiqian immediately understood what he meant. "I understand. Then I won't bother you anymore. I'll think of something else." "Okay, hurry up and deal with this. It'll affect the whole corporation." "I know, Mayor." After hanging up the phone, Huasiqian was about to call the other senior leaders to get in touch with them to suppress this matter. However, one of his subordinates reported to him, "Boss, look. The Municipal Bureau just posted something on Weibo. They've confirmed the authenticity of this incident. This is going to be troublesome." Huasiqian's face darkened. He took out his tablet and opened Weibo. When he saw the post that the police posted, his heart sank. The police of the City Public Security Bureau wrote this. Mo XX, a well-known actress, 30 years old. Due to gathering a crowd to take drugs in a villa in Dongxing Wang Fu District, 3 men and 5 women, all of them tested positive for urine. Currently, all of them have been detained by the police. The details of the situation are still pending the next step of the trial. The City Public Security Bureau also reminds the general public that taking drugs is harmful to health. The police posted something like this on Weibo, proving that Mo Shui was a drug user. Huasiqian couldn't suppress it even if he wanted to. The public opinion on Weibo was one-sided. Mo Shui's selfie posted yesterday, and there were already more than 400,000 comments below it. Huasiqian opened it and glanced at it. They were all insulting her. "I didn't know that the goddess was a bitch. Wow, she's a drug user, you know what? Drug addicts are the most messed up. Regardless of gender, they're all beasts. Everyone should boycott such people in the future. Mo Schwerer, get out of the entertainment industry. I suggest we ban her from the country so she can never embarrass herself in public again. Haha, I've never liked her. She's just a used shoe that the whole corporation made. She slept with thousands of people. Why did she have to go so far? Only you crazy fans would like her. I wonder how many millions the whole corporation is going to lose. I heard that the movie Nightcrawler that's about to be released is going to be hard to produce. They invested 500 million yuan and even invited a Hollywood actor to act with her. What a disappointment, Mo Schwerer. I didn't know you were this kind of person. I won't watch any of your movies or TV shows anymore. You're so negative. No wonder Hua Xiqian didn't want to marry you. You're a drug user. Scary. Hua Xiqian couldn't take it anymore. He closed the Weibo homepage. Boss, what should we do now? Chapter 1829. Tell the company to release a statement saying that Mo Schweer's drug use is purely personal. She's currently on vacation, and everything she does has nothing to do with the company. Yes, sir. An hour later, the whole corporation's PR department released a statement. It was obvious that it was done by a team. It was a very official statement. The general idea was that Mo Schweer's drug use was her own business. President Hua didn't know about it, nor did the company. Now, Mo Schweer had no way out of this. Everyone kicked a man who was down. All the actresses who used to hate Mo Schweer, no matter how low their ranks were, all came out to take advantage of Mo Schweer's popularity. They bombarded Mo Schweer with all kinds of insults and revelations. There was so much information that it was hard to tell the truth from the lies. Jian Tong received the most attention. As Imperial Star's #1 actress, she naturally wouldn't be let off the hook by the media. Jian Tong was on her way home from supper when she was surrounded by a large group of reporters. She got out of her Rolls-Royce Phantom and walked elegantly in her 7-inch heels. Miss Jian, what do you think about Mo Schweer's drug use? I'm sorry, I don't know Miss Mo that well. I won't take advantage of her when she's in the limelight or step on her when she's in trouble. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I really don't have any news to report. Miss Jian, Mo Schweer is now in deep trouble. No one in the domestic entertainment industry can surpass your status, right? What's Imperial Star's next step? I'm sorry, I really don't know. I'm just following the company's orders. Thank you, everyone. Surprisingly, Jian Tong kept a low profile this time. She didn't take advantage of the situation or use it as a publicity stunt. After walking through the crowd of reporters, Jian Tong opened the door and entered her room. Her assistant immediately took her bag and jacket from her hands. Tong Tong, I think we can use this opportunity to create some publicity. Why do you have to keep a low profile? We've missed such a good opportunity. Plus, Mo Schweer used to bully you. It's normal for you to expose something. I don't think she can make a comeback. Didn't you see that the whole corporation cut ties with her? What do you know? I don't want to keep a high profile. Don't you know that the bird that sticks out gets shot? Besides, President Su doesn't like high-profile women. After speaking, Jian Tong turned around and headed upstairs, leaving the assistant speechless. It seemed Miss Jian hadn't given up on her feelings for President Su. The next morning, Hua Min woke up from his sleep. He was still in a daze and had not fully regained consciousness. Qin Shu planted a kiss on her forehead. Last night, the two of them did it for half the night. Hua Min felt that she was exhausted after giving birth. Her back was so sore that she couldn't get out of bed. President Hua, wake up. It's time for you to go to work. President Nick, are you really going to exploit your subordinates like this? Hua Min chuckled. I'm not exploiting my subordinates. You think too highly of me. I'm just a house husband who relies on my wife to make money. My job is to take care of the children, cook, and massage my wife's shoulders. Okay, Mr. Qin, you win. Hua Min knew that Qin Chu cherished the time he spent with them. After she got up, she suddenly thought of something and asked with a smile, how much did the whole corporation's shares fall this morning? 7%. And it's still falling. Perfect. Let's see if Hua Xiqian can still sit still. Hua Min felt much better after her first counterattack. She hated seeing Hua Xiqian's smug face the most. Don't worry, this is just the beginning. His expression will get better and better. Qin Chu smiled slightly. He had the aura of a king that only a victor would have. Huamin felt like the king-like man that she loved deeply was back. Please, don't look at me like that. I can't take it. Qin Chu looked at Huamin gently and slowly approached her. Chapter 1830. Hey, Mr. Qin, it's so early in the morning. Is it really okay for you to flirt with your wife? Huamin laughed as he backed away. Good morning. The light is good and you're in good shape. Huamin couldn't resist Mr. Qin and was once again pushed onto the big, soft bed. An hour later, Huamin looked at his watch and exclaimed, "Oh my God, it's 7:30 a.m. It's all your fault. I'm going to be late for work." After saying that, she got up and hurriedly began to wash up. When she came downstairs, Uncle Li was about to say, "A young lady, breakfast is ready. I'm not eating. I'm going to be late for work." After saying that, he rushed out of the door. Qin Chu, on the other hand, came downstairs leisurely. He was wearing a black long-sleeved shirt with white cuffs and collar. He looked very handsome. "Good morning, Daddy." Little Bean greeted him sweetly. "Good morning, Little Bean." "Wow, Daddy, you're so good. You can always tell me from my sister." Little Bean continued to flatter him. Pudding held a glass of water and looked at Little Bean helplessly. "Because Daddy knows that you're the one who's good at flattering, not me, Little Bean. Babies, do you have any plans today? Is there anywhere you want to go? Daddy can be your chauffeur and bodyguard. Anything. As long as I'm with Daddy, anywhere is good." Little Bean ignored Pudding and continued to act cute. "What about you? Pudding, do you have any good ideas?" "Daddy, you don't have to be with us every day. We know that you're busy with work." Pudding said sensibly. "No, Daddy has time to be with you even if he's busy. Daddy will slowly make it up to you and your mommy for the past 4 years." "Ahem, speaking of mommy, I have something to say." Little Bean raised her hand. "Go ahead." Qin Chu smiled dotingly. "Daddy, can you control yourself? Mommy woke up late and couldn't eat breakfast. It's not good for her health. We understand that you want a second child, but don't go too far." Qin Chu was speechless. "Daddy, don't mind her. Little Bean is dirty." Pudding looked calm, as if she was used to Little Bean's way of talking. "I'm not dirty, I'm just stating facts. Plus, I actually support Daddy and Mommy to be more loving and have a second child. That way, I'll have a helper to deal with Pudding in the future. I don't want her to be the only boss." "Ahem. Babies, let's not talk about this for now. Your mommy gave me a mission this morning. I'm going to see Ms. E today. We're going to see Ms. E again. Both of our piano skills are maxed out." Little Bean was in disbelief. "Daddy, I think we can learn something else. We've already maxed out on the piano. Why don't you find us a zither teacher, a pipa teacher, a bamboo flute teacher, or a drum teacher? That would be even better." "No, your mommy said that your piano skills are too streamlined. There's no emotion, it's all technique. So, this needs to be corrected. I'm not asking you to learn piano to show off your skills. I'm asking you to learn how to express your feelings. When you grow up, no matter if you're happy or not, you can use the sound of the piano to express your feelings. It's a magical thing." "Huh, Daddy, you sound so professional. Are you also a piano expert?" Little Bean asked. Chapter 1831. I know a little, but I'm not as good as your mommy. She can play a difficult song like Memories of Don Juan. Qin Chu said modestly. "Yay. Then when we go to the piano room, we can play a duet with Daddy. What do you think?" "No problem, as long as you guys are willing." Qin Chu smiled. After a hearty breakfast, Qin Chu took his daughter to the piano room. Huamin drove her Audi R8 to work. Luckily, there wasn't much traffic, so she wasn't late. Otherwise, it would be really awkward if she was late. "Good morning, President Hua." In the morning meeting, the executives all stood up to greet her. In the past 3 years, Huamin had done a great job. Now, no one dared to look down on this young girl in her 20s. "President Hua, this is the year-end plan of our marketing department. Please take a look." President Hua, The small high-rise project in Blue Mountain, Shangyu has officially started. Fundraising will begin next week. You have to go there and cut the ribbon. The government seems to be taking this project seriously, and the citizens are very interested in it. President Hua, the new season of jewelry has been released. However, perhaps the market is tired, so the pre-sales aren't very good. Should we continue to promote the new products, or should we change the spokesperson? President Hua, this is a sample of a new product provided by a supplier in Malaysia. We've already had someone appraise it. The material is high quality, but the price is a little high. Should we continue to work with them, or should we look for a new supplier? That morning, Mian read through a lot of documents and dealt with a lot of difficult problems. After the morning meeting, she walked into her office. Bella made a glass of milk for Huamin. President Hua, here's your milk. Thank you. Huamin rubbed her temples and took the glass of milk. She had developed the habit of drinking milk in the early years when she and Qin Shu had just gotten married. Qin Shu had always wanted a baby, so every time he came to the company, he would ask his assistant, Xiao Yang, to make milk for Huamin. Huamin had gotten used to drinking coffee over time. Now, Huamin felt that he was no longer used to drinking coffee. President Hua. Yang walked in, dressed in a suit. Today, Xiao Yang was no longer an assistant, but a senior executive in the administrative department. He had done an excellent job and had a lot of prestige in the company. What is it? It's a private matter. Can you tell me? Yang smiled. Are you going to ask for leave? I've been busy lately. I want to prove it. Huamian smiled willfully. No. I know you're busy at the end of the year. How could I ask for leave? It's like this. Isn't President Qin back? I heard that his leg was injured, so I asked my relatives in the mountains to give me some good beef bones. I was going to make soup for Qin Shu. I was going to give it to him myself, but he hasn't been coming to the company lately, so I decided to bring it back for you. Then, Yang placed the bag on Huamin's desk. President Qin, and I thank you. Huamin's eyes were filled with warmth. These employees were really considerate. Yang had been with Qin Shu for a long time, so naturally, he had a special relationship with him. Yang was actually very good as an assistant, but Huamin was a woman, so it wasn't convenient for her to go on business trips. That was why Bella was appointed as Yang's assistant, and Huamin made an exception to promote him. Huamin remembered all of this, and he had worked very hard for the past 3 years. Don't be so polite with me. I can't even repay you and President Qin's kindness. If it weren't for you, I would still be an insignificant employee. Okay, it's not Thanksgiving today. Don't be so sentimental. I'll take the gift and have the kitchen make it for Mr. Qin when I get home. Don't worry. Okay, then I'll go out, President Hua. Huamin nodded. Just then, Bella walked in and whispered something into Huamin's ear. Why is he here? Huamin frowned slightly. Chapter 1832. This is a critical time. Does President Hua plan to see him? Bella asked softly. After hesitating for a moment, Huamin nodded. Let him in. I think he has something to say to me. Bella nodded and turned to leave. After a while, a man dressed in luxurious casual clothes from a famous brand walked in slowly. President Hua, it's been a while since we last met. The man smiled. Mr. Jiang, how have you been? Huamin looked at Jiang Yi and said faintly, President Hua, do you mind if I smoke? Sure. Jiang Yi smiled as he sat down on the sofa across from Huamin. He took out a black and gold pack of cigarettes, took out a thin stick, and put it in his mouth. I've been back in Jing City for half a year now. If it weren't for Mo Shui-er's accident, I wouldn't have come back. So, are you here to beg for mercy? Huamin looked at him and asked quietly, Beg for mercy? Oh no. President Hua, you seem to be mistaken. The truth is, Mo Shui-er's life and death and her career have nothing to do with me. I don't care about these things. Jiang Yi smiled. Huamin only looked at Jiang Yi quietly, as if he was trying to figure out what he was thinking. He didn't say anything. President Hua, you have to understand that Mo Shui-er and I are just partners in bed. We're not as close as you think. I don't have that many feelings for her, and she's just a pastime for me. We're just taking what we need. But after her accident, I realized that I might have a chance, Jiang Yi said thoughtfully. I don't know. Mr. Jiang, What kind of chance are you talking about? Huomin never liked Jiang Yi because he felt that Jiang Yi was a very strange person. She didn't know what he was thinking. Everything he did was weird. It was especially uncomfortable to interact with him. In the past, in order to develop his business here, he signed with Su Yu's company. Every time he saw Huomin, he would always look at him with that same undisguised gaze. Su Yu didn't like Jiang Yi, so he didn't give him any chance to get close to Huomin. Later, Jiang Yi found out that Su Yu had never promoted him. After a few years of tepid success, his contract expired half a year ago, and he returned to the capital. Huomin thought that he wouldn't come back, but he didn't expect to see him in the office half a year later. Jiang Yi took a puff of his cigarette and blew out a smoke ring. A chance to help you. Help me? Huomin still didn't quite understand what Jiang Yi meant. President Hua, you're a smart man. You should know that I've been with Immerse for a long time, so I know a lot. She's been entangled with Hua Xiqian for years, not only because of love, but also because of benefits. When President Hua and his wife were framed for murder, you should know who was behind it. If I can help you find evidence, Jiang Yi didn't say anything else. He just looked at Huomin meaningfully. Mr. Jiang, you should know that my husband and I have already been cleared of any wrongdoing. Someone else has already taken the blame. So this case was closed a long time ago. Whether or not you can find evidence doesn't matter to us. Huomin was extremely calm. Who said that? What if I can find evidence that Hua Xiqian killed Song Yishur? Jiang Yi asked with a smug smile. When Huomin heard this, his expression changed slightly, as if he was surprised. What do you think? President Hua, are you interested? Jiang Yi looked at Huomin, as if there was something different in his eyes. Chapter 1833. I'm interested, but there's no free lunch in this world. Tell me your conditions first. Huomin didn't think that Jiang Yi would be so kind as to help her take down Hua Xiqian so easily. There had to be some conditions. As expected, Jiang Yi smiled. President Hua is indeed a smart person. Let's not waste time. Tell me your conditions. Let's see if I can afford it. You can afford it. I won't ask for too much. How much money do you want? Huomin asked. Although you're rich, I don't want money. Then your conditions are... Huomin quietly stared at his face. I want to sleep with you. These simple but powerful words didn't surprise Huomin. Jiang Ye's feelings for her weren't new. She already had an answer in her heart, so when she heard Jiang Ye's words, she didn't feel like they were too sudden. Haha, you're quite greedy, Huomin sneered. Although I'm not an entrepreneur, I've been a celebrity for many years. I have a lot of savings, so I don't lack money. I'm already halfway through my life, and I just want to be happy. As long as it makes me happy, I'm willing to do anything. As for you, President Hua, Huomin, I'm very interested in you. Maybe you should know that when I first met you, I was attracted to you. All these years, watching you between Qin Chu, Su Yu, and Hua Xiqian, I'm even more convinced that you're not a simple woman. If I could sleep with you, even just once, it would be a great joy in my life. Jiang Ye's words were very sincere, which suited his style. He was different from Qin Chu's sincere love for Huomin. He was different from Su Yu's fanatical love for Huomin. Unlike Hua Xiqian's perverted possessiveness towards Huomin, Jiang Yi simply wanted to sleep with Huomin. He had never concealed his desire for Huomin, even when it came to something as simple and crude as sex. If it was in the past, Huomin would have lost his temper and kicked Jiang Yi out. But now that she had experienced so much, she was no longer the hot-tempered little girl she used to be. So in the face of Jiang Ye's humiliating conditions, she only smiled faintly. Jiang Yi, you're quite an interesting person. You actually dare to talk about your desires so directly. I don't like to waste everyone's time, and I don't like to beat around the bush. You might not like what I'm saying, but it's just how I do things. Jiang Yi tilted his head and looked at Huomin, his eyes filled with lust. Speaking of which, it was rather strange. Huomin wasn't extremely beautiful, and her body wasn't hot either. She didn't have big breasts and beautiful buttocks, nor did she have seductive eyes. She was just a stubborn little girl. She always did things by the book, and her personality was calm as a cucumber. However, such an inconspicuous and slightly arrogant girl was still on Jiang Ye's mind. Jiang Ye was handsome, rich, and charming. He was an expert at picking up girls, and over the years, he had slept with countless girls. He had never met a girl that he couldn't get, and the only one he couldn't get was Huamin. So he put in a lot of effort and thought of all sorts of ways to get her. But do you think that I, Huamin, would give myself to you just to bring down Hua Xiqian? Jiang Yi didn't say anything, and he quietly listened to Huamin's next words. Jiang Yi, who do you think you are? You think you're worthy of me, Huamin, taking off my clothes for such a small price? Huamin's lips twitched. Chapter 1834. I know that even Su Yu, who loves you so much, couldn't get you after years of being with you, let alone me. I know I don't have a good chance of winning, but I'm a person who dares to try. You can only know if you're going to win after trying. If you don't even dare to try, then what's the point of dreaming? So, President Hua, you don't have to be angry. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. But if one day you regret it and want to come find me, I'll always welcome you. Jiang Yi stood up. Don't worry, you won't have that chance. Not in this life, not in the next life. Huamin shut him up. Jiang Yi paused, turned around, and smiled wickedly. I love it when you're arrogant. Huamin was speechless. After Jiang Yi left, Huamin went back to work. To Huamin, Jiang Yi was the one who provided evidence that Hua Xiqian killed Song Yishur. Even if Jiang Yi helped her kill Hua Xiqian, she would never give up on him. She would never give herself to him. For Huamian, when it came to sex, there was no other man in the world that could make her willingly lie down under Qin Chu. After a busy morning, Huamin video called Mr. Qin. Qin Chu was streaming the twins practicing piano, which made Huamin very happy. Mr. Qin, you're super efficient. Yeah? So, honey, do you want to compliment me? Of course, of course. Honey, you're the best. Little Bean, what does our piano skills have to do with her husband's greatness? Sis, I don't understand. Pudding, not everyone understands how Qin Chu and Huamian show off their love. Hurry up and play. If mommy sees you slacking off, you won't be able to eat ice cream tonight. Little Bean, oh my God, don't take away my little wish. Little Bean, what are you mumbling about? Huamin looked past Mr. Qin and saw Little Bean on the screen. Oh, I miss mommy so much today. If only you were here, I could play this new song for you. Little Bean said without blushing at all. Good boy. Practice well with me. Remember to put your heart into it and not focus on technique. Got it, Mommy. We'll follow your example and learn from you. Daddy said that Mommy plays the piano very well. Little Bean continued to praise her. Huamin nodded in satisfaction, indicating that he enjoyed it very much. Pudding sighed and said proudly, nowadays flatterers are really popular. Qin Chu almost laughed out loud when he heard this. Ever since they returned to the country, the haze had been swept away. The twin daughters had brought them so much joy. Qin Chu sometimes felt that these two little guys were the best gifts that God had given him. They were the proof of the deep love between him and Huamin. Honey, drive to Hilton Chinese restaurant at 6 tonight. I'll go there directly from the company. Are you having a family dinner? Not just a family dinner, but also Linglings and Xiaoweis. Oh, that's great. The more the merrier. Okay, see you tonight. Okay, President Hua, good luck. Qin Chu looked at Huamin, who was wearing a slim black suit, lovingly. Huamin was like a shy girl. She smiled shyly and said, I'll work hard. 6 p.m. at Hilton Chinese restaurant. Mommy, can I go home first? I'm so scared to see Little Bean and Pudding. The party hadn't even started yet, but Wei Yunshu was already nervous and wanted to run away. Jiang Xiaowei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Chapter 1835. Son, you can't be so cowardly. How can a man be afraid of his little sister? They're not normal people's little sisters. They're gangsters, Wei Yunshu complained. Gangsters? Where did you hear that? Jiang Xiaowei was dumbfounded. Uncle Tang Chuan said it. He said that Little Bean and Pudding are gangsters. Yes, that's right, they're gangsters. Fine. That damn Tang Chuan, he's slandering us again. He'll fall into the twins' hands sooner or later. Jiang Xiaowei laughed. Wei Liao booked the hotel. The Wei family had already acquired the Hilton Hotel and was preparing to enter the hotel industry. Therefore, to celebrate, Jiang Xiaowei went back to work at the Municipal Public Security Bureau. The kids were taken care of by the Wei family's nanny and Mrs. Wei. Zhu Lingling was a little sad. After giving birth to her son, Gao Buyin, her body didn't recover. Now that she weighed 120 pounds, she couldn't be a stewardess anymore. Therefore, Gao Ran's family paid for her to open a trendy handbag studio. Zhu Lingling also had a playful attitude and created her own brand of women's handbags, Ling. She didn't expect the sales to be so good. At least she had something to do every day. Gao Ran made countless contributions in just 4 years and was promoted to the second-in-command of the Municipal Public Security Bureau. He was known as the youngest deputy director in history. Because of his good looks and high position, many women wanted to throw themselves at him. Zhu Lingling was often jealous. She even stopped him from going on Weibo. Zhu Lingling took care of it herself. Gao Ran didn't know whether to laugh or cry. When Qin Shu arrived with the twins, Huamin wasn't there yet. Everyone else was already waiting in the private room. Wei Liao and Gao Ran's families. Hey, Little Bean and Pudding, let Annie Lingling hug you. Zhu Lingling truly liked the twins, even more so than Jiang Xiaowei. Perhaps it was because of her personality. So every time she saw him, she would hug and kiss him. Honey, control yourself. Look at Pudding's disgusted face. You're spitting on her face, Gao Ran laughed. Don't talk nonsense. Little Bean loves me. Zhu Lingling rolled her eyes at Gao Ran. Gao Ran hid behind his father, not daring to step forward. Little brother Buiyuan, you're here too. Come, let's play. Little Bean looked at Gao Buiyuan as if she had discovered a new continent. Gao Buiyuan was so scared that he kept stepping back. He couldn't walk steadily and had to be supported. However, his actions and consciousness were already muddled. It seemed that he was also very afraid of the twins. Qin Shu, did you see that? Your daughter is a gangster. Even Yin Shu and Buiyuan don't dare to approach her. Gao Ran chuckled. Nonsense. My daughter is in the mafia, which is even higher than the mafia, okay? Qin Shu patted Little Bean's head lovingly and smiled. TSK, TSK, you're so proud of yourself. Qin Shu, where's Mian? Jiang Xiaowei asked. She should be here soon. I just called because she was stuck in traffic. As soon as he finished speaking, Huamin opened the door and walked in. Then he placed his bag on the table. Sorry, I'm not late, right? No, you're just in time. Let's start eating. Wei Liao smiled and called the waiter over. Then the three families sat down together, feeling touched. Before anyone could speak, Little Bean glanced around and said, Everyone's here, but why isn't Handsome Sue here? After saying that, everyone looked embarrassed. Before Qin Shu came back, Wei Liao would invite Su Yu to every family gathering. Most of the time, Su Yu would pay the bill. Huamin never invited Su Yu because he didn't want to be too close to him. However, Su Yu enjoyed it. Now that the twins' father was back, Su Yu naturally wouldn't come. Your Uncle Su just recovered and is still recovering, so he won't be coming, Wei Liao explained. Qin Shu didn't want everyone to feel awkward, so he glanced at Gao Ran and changed the topic. Is there any progress on Mo Shue's case? Did Hui Xiqian bail her out? Chapter 1836. Not yet. From the looks of it, Hui Xiqian won't bail her out. After all, the Hui Xiqian already announced that Mo Shu is insignificant to them, Gao Ran analyzed. But this incident will have a huge impact on the whole corporation. After all, she's the most popular girl in the whole corporation. Also, the movie that's about to be released will be banned. The stock market will also fluctuate. Hui Xiqian will lose a lot of money, Wei Liao interrupted. This is nothing to Hui Xiqian. This is just the beginning, Qin Shu said faintly. Mr. Qin, did you do this? Zhu Lingling finally understood the crux of their conversation. Before Qin Shu could speak, Huamin explained with a smile. Mr. Qin just found the right opportunity. Mo Shui, or has been doing drugs for years. Someone was covering for her before. Now that she's exposed, it's not my husband's fault. Yeah, my husband did well this time. Mo Shui, that bitch should have been in jail a long time ago. Zhu Lingling patted Gao Ran's shoulder proudly. Yinshu, why are you sitting in your mom's arms? Come down and play with your brothers and sisters. Huamin teased Wei Yinshu, who was in Jiang Xiaowei's arms, with a smile. Annie Huamin, I don't want to go down. Why not? Because I'm scared of Little Bean and Pudding. Did they bully you? Tell me, I'll teach them a lesson. They keep asking me who's prettier. I'm so annoyed. After Wei Yinshu said this, everyone burst into laughter. Qin Shu, take care of your daughters. Our son can't even talk yet, but they've already traumatized him, Gao Ran said with a smile as he hugged his son. Gao Buyan, how can boys be bullied by girls? You guys are really, Zhu Lingling said helplessly. Huamin turned around and glanced at Pudding. You're the older sister. Tell me what happened. Didn't Mommy tell you not to bully Big Brother? We didn't bully him. We trust Big Brother's taste. That's why we asked if she's prettier. If it wasn't of our business, we wouldn't ask, Pudding answered matter-of-factly. Before Huamian could say anything, Little Bean said, but Big Brother, we're always equally beautiful. Of course we feel uncomfortable. I'm obviously the prettier one. Big Brother? I didn't pudding little pudding of why, pudding tea play? Anyway, don't believe her. Wei Yinshu took the opportunity to complain. Teeth what? Tea-tess of Shiev? She rubbed her saliva all over your face because she likes you. Isn't that how adults kiss when they're dating? Little Bean said innocently. Everyone was dumbfounded. Qin Shu's forehead was covered in cold sweat. It seemed like he had to change his daughter's habit of shocking people with her words. Otherwise, her parents would be embarrassed. Ahem. Son, did you kiss Little Bean? Wei Liao was also shocked by Huang Mian's words. Wei Yinshu felt wrong. Dad, don't listen to Little Bean's nonsense. She said she rubbed her saliva all over my face. She rubbed her saliva on her finger and rubbed it on my face. It's not the same as dating and kissing. Don't mislead everyone. His son calmly explained what happened while he was still angry. Jiang Xiaowei laughed hysterically. Mommy, isn't that funny? Your son is being bullied. Chapter 1837. Son, you used the word mislead very well. Have you improved your language skills? Jiang Xiaowei asked with a smile. Wei Yinshu looked at his mother, dumbfounded. It seemed like his mother's focus wasn't on whether or not he was being bullied. Pudding, your sister is so ridiculous. Why don't you do something about it? Mommy, even you can't do anything about it. You want me to? You think too highly of me. Pudding sipped her juice unhurriedly. Huamin was speechless. Mr. Qin, look at your daughters. Huamin couldn't take it anymore. They're still young. There's no need to rush. Qin Shu smiled gently. They're not young. They don't look like they're 3 years old. If you don't do something about it now, do you think you'll have a chance to do something about it in the future? Gao Ran teased. Little Bean glanced at Gao Ran. She rolled her eyes and asked curiously, Uncle Gao, the other day, when we were on our way back from piano lessons, we saw a beautiful woman in a police uniform sitting in the passenger seat of your Jaguar. Is she a new intern at the city bureau? Gao Ran was speechless. When did that happen? Great, Gao Ran, but getting bolder now. Zhu Lingling couldn't stay calm anymore. Hey, Little Bean, don't talk nonsense. It'll cause a family conflict. Gao Ran didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Could it be that I saw her wrongly? Sis, did you see her? Little Bean turned around and looked at Pudding. I saw her too. She was smiling at Uncle Gao. She was young and pretty. But it's normal. Uncle Gao is the deputy director now. Those female police officers would jump on him when they see him. You two are trying to kill me. Gao Ran couldn't laugh anymore. Gao Ran, tell me. What female police officer? What intern? Zhu Lingling pinched his arm tightly. Hey, honey, don't pinch me. It's not what you think. My colleague from a municipal public security bureau was about to be late for work. Then he saw my car and took 2 stops. Who would believe you? I'll teach you a lesson when we get home. Zhu Lingling was furious. Qin Shu, your daughter. Gao Ran was truly helpless. Before he could finish, Little Bean continued, Uncle Gao, I saw him the other day. All right. Little Bean, don't say anything. Listen to me first. After saying that, Gao Ran glanced at Qin Shu and gave him a thumbs up. Qin Shu, you've raised these 2 daughters well. They're smart and cute. They're the best in the world. Hearing that it was a compliment, Little Bean immediately changed her words. That day, when I saw that Uncle Gao's phone was filled with Annie Lingling's photos, I thought that Uncle Gao must really love Annie Lingling. They're all my photos. Zhu Lingling obviously didn't believe it. Yup. That day, I used Uncle Gao's phone to play Do Diju and accidentally found them. Zhu Lingling smiled shyly. Damn cop, at least you still have a conscience. Gao Ran finally let out a sigh of relief. He felt like he was on a roller coaster just now. The twins of the Qin family were very mischievous and quick-witted. Most importantly, he couldn't mess with them. Old Wei, you're smart. You don't talk much at every gathering and don't cause trouble. Gao Ran glanced at Wei Liao and said meaningfully, even if I can't mess with them, I can still avoid them. Wei Liao laughed. Pudding Little Bean, don't bully your brothers anymore. If I hear Yin Shu complain again, humph, Huamin sneered. Chapter 1838. Pudding raised her head and looked at Wei Yinshu meaningfully. Then, she turned around and smiled at her mother. Don't worry, Big Brother will never tell on you again. Why do I feel like Pudding's words are weird? Jiang Xiaowei couldn't help but laugh. Mommy, let's go home. It's so scary. Wei Yinshu hugged Jiang Xiaowei's neck tightly. Pudding and Little Bean's two-faced nature was on full display at the party. Qin Shu was naturally proud, but Huamin was a bit worried. After the party, the family of 4 drove back to South Hill Manor. The twins were tired and had fallen asleep in the back seat. Honey, yeah? Do you think our babies will grow up to be gangsters? Huamin asked worriedly. Qin Shu chuckled when he heard this. What are you laughing at? Huamin was confused. Honey, you're thinking too much. They're still young. Besides, they're not evil by nature. They're just a bit overbearing, two-faced, and vengeful. My goodness, isn't that enough? They're girls. Their tempers will get bigger in the future. What'll happen then? Pudding and Little Bean are indeed strong-willed, Qin Shu analyzed as he drove. They're not like me or you in this aspect, yeah. They're like their auntie, Qin Shu blurted out. Like their auntie? Huamin's heart raced every time he heard news about his sister. Luyan's personality is like this. She's cranky, hot-tempered, high-profile, and hates evil. Most importantly, she's not afraid of anything. She doesn't dare to mess with anyone. Qin Shu recalled that he had met Lu Yin and chatted with her when he was operating on Xiaofei in Moscow. Although they didn't have much contact, there were too many rumors about Lu Yin in the world of martial arts. She was too amazing. Yin is only 20 years old. From what you said, she's been living such a life since she was young. Actually, my heart aches for her. At least compared to her, I'm the luckier one. At least my life is stable. That's why your father didn't dare to look for you all these years, even though he knew where you were. Life is really quite mysterious. Even biological sisters have different fates. If we were in each other's shoes, I don't think I would be able to hold on. I really don't know how Yen has been through all these years. When water reaches a dead end, it becomes a waterfall. When people reach a dead end, they will be reborn. Perhaps it's because of that harsh living environment that Lu Yin is so outstanding. Does Yin look like me? Huamin couldn't help but ask. She doesn't look like you, but her personality is similar to yours. For example, Huamin looked at Qin Shu curiously. She's stubborn. She can persevere no matter what. Lu Yin must have had faith in herself all these years. I really don't know when I'll be able to see her. Huamin's gaze was warm. Thinking that he still had a sister alive in this world, he suddenly felt that life was full of surprises. Not too long. Once we get rid of Ian, everyone will be happy. I think that's what the professor hopes for as well. The cars sped through the night. Rio de Janeiro, South America. Lu Yin wore a fiery red dress and appeared at a celebrity business dinner party. She effortlessly switched between English and Portuguese. People seemed to be quite interested in this Asian girl with exquisite looks. Boss, everything is ready. The explosion will happen in 10 minutes. We can leave now. A waiter in a waiter's uniform whispered in her ear. Okay. Lu Yin smiled slightly with a glass of red wine in her hand. Then, she quickly walked out. Yin, long time no see. Lu Yin didn't expect to run into this guy, just as she was about to reach the exit. Moreover, he appeared in front of her without any warning. She didn't even receive a single message. Hi, Ian. Lu Yin helplessly greeted him. Chapter 1839. If Lu Yin remembered correctly, the last time she saw Ian was 2 years ago when she was surrounded by his men in Florida. That time was also very dangerous. Fortunately, Xiao Fei arrived and saved her. Since then, she avoided Ian like he was the plague. She knew that no good would come out of this man wherever he went, because he could no longer be described as a bad person. He was the leader of an extreme terrorist organization that defied humanity. His mind was to destroy the world. However, such a perverted man with no limits had a soft spot for Lu Yin. Ian wasn't old. He was only a few years older than Huamin and was only in his 30s. He was very good-looking. Perhaps it was because he was born in a German noble family, so his bloodline was very pure. He was an authentic Caucasian. His deep blue eyes shone with a strange light. His short brown hair was very eye-catching. Ian loved to smile and looked very cute when he smiled. Many people were deceived by his appearance and ignored his bloodthirsty nature. Ian loved the Godfather costume. Every time he appeared, he wore this black robe and looked very strange. Those who didn't know him would think that he was a Christian. In fact, he was an evil Satanist. Even the cross on his neck was anti-Satanist. Ian had been hunting Lu Yin and Professor Lu for a long time. This was a plan that had been laid out for a long time. Originally, he wanted to start with Professor Lu's daughter and threaten him to work for him. But Professor Lu's eldest daughter disappeared many years ago. It was said that she was stranded in China. Ian investigated, but found nothing. Even someone as powerful as Hua Xiqian couldn't find her, so Ian basically gave up on that lead. Lu Yin, on the other hand, was very difficult to catch. Ian spent a lot of effort to track her down. Every time he found her, she would disappear. So this time, Ian set a trap. He directly colluded with Lu Yin's employer and lured her to Brazil. Finally, they met on a narrow path. Boss, you go first. I'll cover you. The subordinate was very nervous and pointed his gun at Ian. Both of us can't leave. Lu Yin was very calm. She looked around and saw that there were more than 20 snipers in every corner of the venue. Damn it, she didn't know where the extra red dots came from. It was creepy. Yin, why don't you come back to Berlin with me? Ian tilted his head and smiled at Lu Yin. Sure, I was just thinking of traveling to Germany. That's a good idea. Let's go. Then, Lu Yin walked forward confidently, as if she was ready to be captured. Boss, I'm sorry, we miscalculated. The subordinate said guiltily. It's none of your business. I'm sure Ian has been planning this for a long time. He won't kill me. We'll play it by ear. Lu Yin was smart enough to know that she was at a disadvantage. If she didn't have the confidence, she wouldn't apply. Otherwise, she would drag her subordinates down with her if she ran away. She wasn't crazy enough to ignore the life and death of her subordinates. 10 minutes later, Lu Yin and her subordinates were taken onto Ian's private jet. Yin, I still like to look at you face to face like this. You're so charming when you're quiet, Ian said in fluent German. Lu Yin lowered her head and didn't say anything. She kept trimming her nails with a nail clipper, completely ignoring Ian. This was something no one would dare to do. In the eyes of Ian's subordinates, it was simply disobedience. But Ian liked Lu Yin's fearless personality. Ian, I'm thirsty. I want some red wine. Chapter 1840. Luyan didn't like to drink water. When she was thirsty, she would drink red wine, cocktails, beer, and all kinds of alcohol like water. She was very tough. "Carl, bring me some red wine." Ian was in a good mood and called out to the butler behind him. The old man, named Carl, carefully brought over a bottle of red wine. He opened it and poured 2 glasses. Luyan picked up the red wine and looked at Ian. Then, she tilted her head back and drank it. Ian smiled as he picked up the red wine and sipped it. Suddenly, he felt his whole body go numb. "Do you feel like you can't move?" Luyan smiled. "What did you do to me?" Ian was terrified. Just then, the old man named Carl beside Ian slowly tore off the human skin mask on his face. "Dad, you're good at acting." Luyan looked at the old man and smiled like a flower. "Teach me." Ian looked at the old man in disbelief. As soon as Ian said the word professor, dozens of AK-47s were pointed at Luyan and the professor's heads. "You better not move. Ian is poisoned and only I can cure him." The professor's words were never a joke. He was a genius doctor and a master of poison. Everyone knew that. Ian caught Luyan this time because he was careless and didn't expect Professor Liu to come along. He even disguised himself as the old butler, Carl. The red wine was poisoned. Luyan was fine, but he was poisoned. "Don't look at me like that, Ian. I've been playing with my dad's poison since I was a child. I'm immune to all kinds of poisons." Luyan smiled. When she got on the plane and saw Carl, she knew something was wrong. It was a secret signal between her and her dad. That was why she said she was thirsty and wanted a drink. Ian was about to lose consciousness. He couldn't move his body and just sat there in a daze like a doll. "The antidote, or we'll all die here," Ian said with difficulty. "I can give you the antidote, but we have to leave first." Professor Liu's voice was hoarse. "Okay." Ian seemed to be very obedient. "Open the cabin. We're going to parachute down." "Dad, why aren't they parachuting?" "We're taking the plane," Luyan complained. "Don't tell me you want to go to Germany when you get off the plane and continue to be hunted down." The professor glanced at his daughter faintly. Luyan was speechless. Indeed, the older the ginger, the wiser the ginger, the wiser the ginger. "I have the antidote with me. Drink it, and you'll recover in 10 minutes. Why should I believe you? What if you run away and the antidote is fake?" Ian seemed to be worried. "You don't have a choice. Why don't we all die here? You get poisoned first, and then your men shoot us. What do you think?" Professor Liu looked at Ian and smiled. Ian's expression immediately turned ugly. He knew that Professor Liu wouldn't scare people, and he would definitely do what he said. "Ian, you have 8 minutes to consider. Even if I give you the antidote after 8 minutes, you will die from the poison. Everyone is so busy. You better make a decision quickly." Luyan was really arrogant. In the end, Ian only thought about it quietly for a few seconds. Then, he gritted his teeth and slowly said, "You guys open the cabin and get the parachutes." "Boss, are we really going to let them go?" His subordinates didn't seem convinced. "Shut up, all of you. Carry out my orders." Ian couldn't laugh anymore. 2 minutes later, Luyan and her subordinates jumped first. Professor Liu was the last to jump. Before he jumped, he kept his promise and threw the antidote to Ian. After the 3 of them landed, Luyan took off the parachute and walked over to help her dad up. "Dad, why are you suddenly here? You're my savior," Luyan exclaimed. Chapter 1841. I've been paying attention to Ian's whereabouts and found out that he came to Brazil. I also knew that something was wrong when you were in Brazil, so I disguised myself as one of his people when he wasn't paying attention. Smart, but, Dad, why didn't you just poison him to death and give him another bag of poison? If people like Ian don't die, we'll never have a good life. Do you think we'll have a good life if we kill him? If he dies, we'll be hunted down even more. The German mafia and terrorist organizations won't let us go. Ian does have to die, but not now. Then Professor Liu got up and walked forward. "Boss, we're still in Rio de Janeiro. Where are we going next?" Luyan's subordinate asked her after taking out the GPS. "Let's go home. I'm never coming back to this damn place. If it weren't for my dad, I would be a prisoner by now. This time, it was indeed very dangerous. I've told you many times not to take orders recklessly. You have so much money that you won't be able to spend it all in your next life. Why are you still looking at money? Aren't I going to save more for my twin nieces? Professor Lu's eyes softened at the mention of twins. They're 3 years old this year, right? Yeah, they just celebrated their third birthday. Qin Chu already went back. Don't worry about things in China. My sister is doing very well. She's just a famous entrepreneur now. Lu Yin knew Hua mean situation like the back of her hand. Do you have a picture? Let me see. Lu Yin turned on her watch, opened the picture, and enlarged it. Professor Lu looked at the picture of Huamin and her two daughters, and a strong sense of affection appeared in his eyes. Although Huamin wasn't by his side when she was young, Professor Lu had never forgotten about her. If your mom saw this, she would be very happy. She's living a peaceful and happy life now, which is exactly what your mom wants to see. Yeah, I actually envy my sister. I really hope she can live like this forever. Yin, I'm sorry I didn't give you a stable life all these years. Professor Lu's white sideburns indicated that he was getting older. Looking at his younger daughter, he actually felt sorry for her. Although they were father and daughter, they only saw each other a few times a year. Every time they met, they would bid each other farewell in a hurry. Why are you talking about this? I'm already used to it. Actually, it's pretty good. At least I've learned a lot of survival skills. I've seen a lot of insomnia, and I've killed a lot of enemies. Compared to my sister's calmness, my life has been more exciting. After I succeed in my experiment, I'll find a chance to kill Ian. Then, you can marry Xiao Fei and stop running around. Your mercenary group will be disbanded, and you'll quit this business. After all, you're a girl. Fighting and killing isn't your final destination. Oh, that's a long time ago. I'm only in my early 20s. Why would I get married? Lu Yin always tried to avoid marrying Xiao Fei. Suddenly, Professor Lu's phone rang. He looked at his watch. Xiao Fei's image was reflected. Uncle Lu, how are you? Very good. Yin'er has been successfully rescued. Don't worry. That's good. Do you want to talk to her? Professor Lu asked. No need. I still have something to do. That's all. She didn't expect Xiao Fei to hang up just like that. How heartless. Damn it. That's psycho. He didn't even say a word to me. Lu Yin bit her lips. I think you made him angry. Professor Lu knew his daughter's personality well. Lu Yin didn't say anything. She looked down and tried to recall what made Psycho Xiao so angry. He didn't even want to talk to her. Chapter 1842. Before she came to Brazil, Xiao Fei told her not to run around. It wasn't peaceful recently, so he told her to stay at the Qiao family's house in Moscow. He even said he would cook special Russian food for her, but Lu Yin didn't care about that at all. When Xiao Fei went back to the family headquarters to deal with business, she ran away. Then, she took a job and flew to Brazil. Xiao Fei didn't want to talk to her. Angry? I'm the one who's angry. I saved his life. If I didn't find my brother-in-law to operate on him a few years ago, he wouldn't be alive now, Lu Yin said matter-of-factly. Why don't you think about it? Who did he get shot a few years ago? Her dad's words made Lu Yin speechless. Don't say I don't have time to save you next time. I'm telling you, don't take jobs anymore. Go back to the island or stay at the Qiao family's house in Moscow. It's safe there. Dad, I want to go back to China. I want to see my sister and the twins. You're acting up again, aren't you? Professor Lu looked at his daughter helplessly. I really want to see my sister and her pair of beautiful nieces. You'll have a chance, but not now. Lu Yin, I'm telling you, if you bring danger to yourself and your sister because of your stubbornness, I'll never forgive you. Then, Professor Lu turned around and left. Lu Yin pouted and wanted to express her dissatisfaction. Boss, let's go back. Go away. Don't talk to me. Lu Yin was in a bad mood. Why was it so hard to see her sister? Why hadn't she had a chance in all these years? It was a miracle that she could hold it in for so long with her fiery personality. At South Hill Manor, after piano practice, the twins sat in the living room and played. Pudding liked to read all kinds of news on the internet, so she quietly browsed through the news on her tablet. Little Bean liked to eat. She was eating an orange as she watched TV. When Chin Chu came downstairs, he saw the sisters in such harmony. Unfortunately, it wasn't Pleasant Goat and Big Bad Wolf or Boonie Bears on TV. Instead, it was a variety show that had been very popular in the country recently, run Brother Little Bean. You like this show? Yeah, I like Big Brother Shallow. Little Bean was infatuated. Brother Shallow? Chin Chu was confused. Pudding glanced at Little Bean and replied calmly, Daddy, ignore her. She's talking about celebrities. Well, it seems that Daddy is out. Chin Chu smiled helplessly and sat in the empty seat between the two sisters. Where's Mommy? She's still busy. She still has to deal with some company matters. Daddy, are you really going to live off her? Little Bean looked at Chin Chu sympathetically. What? Are you going to look down on Daddy as well? Mommy works to support the family while Daddy cooks and takes care of you at home. There's nothing wrong with that. I feel weird. Little Bean looked at her daddy in confusion. Pudding, you don't want Daddy to be home with you guys every day? No, I'm fine. The problem is, Daddy, won't you be bored staying with us like this? Pudding asked calmly. No. Chin Chu answered without hesitation. If you don't think it's boring, then it's fine. I don't care. Pudding, what news are you watching? Nothing. I'm just looking at the stock market. I heard that 2 families in the real estate industry are getting married. I think their stocks will definitely rise. I'm going to buy some and sell it when it reaches the upper limit. You invest in stocks? Chin Chu looked at Pudding in disbelief. Sometimes, I use Mommy's account. Mommy will give me 100,000 yuan. She won't give me a lot. I'm just doing it for fun. Are you making money or losing money? Chin Chu was immediately interested. Chapter 1843. Little Bean peeled off a piece of orange and stuffed it into Chin Chu's mouth. Daddy, you don't know my sister at all. Why would she lose money? With her IQ, she won't be satisfied until she wins 10 times over. So our Pudding is an expert in the stock market? Chin Chu chuckled. Pudding calmly logged into her account and showed Chin Chu the current balance in the stock market. It wasn't the 100,000 yuan Huamin gave her. It was 8 million yuan. It wasn't as simple as a 10-fold increase. Good job, girl. Chin Chu patted Pudding's head lovingly. Daddy, I'm here too. Pudding immediately leaned her head on Chin Chu's shoulder and whined. Little Bean is great too. Suddenly, Chin Chu thought of something and asked softly, Pudding, Little Bean, do you want to see your grandparents? We've seen them before. Pudding answered calmly. You've seen them before? When? Chin Chu was slightly surprised. When we were little, Mommy would show us pictures every day. Daddy was the one she saw the most, then Grandpa and Grandma. Oh, there was also a short-haired Annie. Right, we should call her Andy, right? Pudding thought hard. Yes, Auntie. That's her Annie Chin name. Yeah, so we're all familiar with each other. Daddy Annie is so pretty. The Chin family's genes are so strong. Other than Mommy, everyone else is a beauty queen, Little Bean said with a smile. Your mommy is beautiful too. Chin Chu smiled. Yeah, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. In Daddy's eyes, Mommy is the most beautiful woman in the world. Pudding praised. Daddy, does any Chin have a boyfriend? Pudding suddenly asked. Not yet. I haven't heard her mention one. Chin Chu thought carefully and realized that he hadn't heard Ning Ning talk about a boyfriend. Oh, I see. Pudding nodded thoughtfully. What? Do you have any plans? Chin Chu looked at Pudding and thought she wouldn't ask this for no reason. Unexpectedly, Pudding smiled mysteriously and replied perfunctorily, Nothing. Chin Chu saw this, but didn't ask any more questions. Instead, he continued, When your mommy isn't so busy, I'll take you two to the States. We'll go visit your grandparents and Andy, okay? Of course. But I heard it's a long flight to the States. I don't know if I can handle it, Little Bean complained. She looked especially adorable. Pudding, on the other hand, was as calm as ever. I'll leave it to you, Daddy. She played with the two little guys in the living room for a while until they were sleepy and went back to sleep. Chin Chu went upstairs. When Chin Chu entered the bedroom, Huamin had already taken a shower and was lying down. He was still reading the company's relevant information in his hand. Wifey, are they asleep? Mom took them back to visit. They look sleepy. The two little devils. They're so quiet every day. I can't keep them company. It's okay. Just work. I'll keep them company. Shu walked over and sat on the edge of the bed. Huamin leaned over and rested her head on his shoulder. Honey, I want to talk to you about something. Okay. You didn't ask me anything. You just said okay. Huamin looked up and smiled. Whatever you say, wifey. Honey, if you were an emperor in ancient times, you'd be a fatuous ruler. It's okay. I'm willing to be a fatuous ruler for you. I'm not afraid of being despised by the world. Tsk. I'm surprised that Mr. Qin knows how to sweet talk. You don't like it? Shu looked down at Huamin gently. I like it. I like a lot. Huamin smiled shyly and nestled in Shu's arms. So, honey, can you tell me what it is now? Chapter 1844. I'm so forgetful. I almost forgot. Auntie Sue just called and said that Lord Sue and Uncle Sue missed the twins. Tomorrow is Saturday, so they want us to bring the kids over for dinner. Sure. I also prepared a gift for the Sue family. I'm going to bring it over. Gift? What did you prepare? Lord Sue and the others aren't snobbish people. You don't have to give them something expensive. Huamin was a little worried. Don't worry. I know the Sue family doesn't lack money. They won't give you anything expensive. It's just a small gift. I'll take care of it. Huamin nodded. When the company isn't so busy, I plan to take you guys back to the States. Mom and Dad miss the kids very much. You should have gone a long time ago. I know you're worried that it'll be inconvenient for Mom and Dad to come back. You're afraid that Huasiqian will do something to them. So going to the States is the best way. Qin Chu gently stroked Huamin's long hair. He was very happy that Huamin understood what he meant. No problem. It's time for Mom and Dad to see the kids. How's Dad? Not so good. I've been working hard ever since the surgery. I can only rely on some medicine. Huamin frowned slightly. Dad has already gotten over it. Don't be too sad. Life and death are fated, I know. I hope Dad can stay with us for a few more years and watch the twins grow up, Huamin said slowly. Ever since Chu came back, Huamin's sleep became very good. He had never slept so deeply in years. Now, he slept soundly in Su Yu's arms every day. His mental state was also very good. Huamin greedily hoped that he and Chu could stay like this forever and never be separated again. 11 years was already a huge test for them. Not many people in the world could be together after being separated for so long. It was easy to imagine how difficult it was for their relationship to come about. Looking at Huamin sleeping soundly, Chu leaned over and gently kissed him. Good night, my girl. In his eyes, Huamin would always be the little girl from more than 10 years ago. That arrogant genius girl. Every time he saw Huamin and the twins, Chu felt that all the pain he had suffered before was worth it. Late at night, he quietly got up, picked up his phone, and stood in the corridor to make a call. The following dialogue was in English. What's the situation over there? Everything's calm. Nothing's happened. Have you investigated it thoroughly? Everything is clear. I think we can make a move at any time. After a while, I will bring my wife and son back to America. Don't expose your identity. Don't let my wife find out. She's very smart. I'll contact you when I get back. Don't call me for the time being. That's all. After Chu finished speaking, he hung up the phone. When he was on the phone, he deliberately lowered his voice as if he didn't want anyone to hear. After hanging up the phone, Chu turned around and walked back to his room. He didn't seem to notice that there was someone downstairs at this time of night. At this moment, Xin, who was drinking water in the pantry upstairs, had a strange expression on his face. The glass of water in his hand trembled slightly. Brother-in-law, he's indeed a little strange this time. Why did he call behind my back? He also said that he didn't want my sister to know. Could it be that he has a mistress in America? Xin was shocked when he thought of this. Chapter 1845. The next morning, It was the weekend, so Jixin and Huamin didn't have to go to work at GK. The family sat around the breakfast table and enjoyed a sumptuous breakfast. Qin Shu's Western food was very authentic, and the twins loved it, so he always cooked for them. He made fried eggs, sausages, cheese rolls, and honey butter croissants, all of which tasted very authentic. The twins slowly drank their milk. Mian, it's the weekend. Are you going out? Yang Meirong asked. I don't have anything to do this morning, but we'll visit the Su family in the afternoon. Mrs. Su invited us to dinner. She said that Lord Su misses the twins. That's good. The Su family has taken care of us for so long, and they have feelings for the twins. We should visit them more often. We don't want people to say that we're ungrateful. Mom, I know, don't worry. Jixin ate slowly and didn't say anything, but he glanced at Qin Chu a few times. Jixin, why do you keep looking at your brother-in-law? Huamin asked. Qin Chu was feeding his daughter's ham, so he didn't notice Jixin's gaze. Upon hearing Huamin's words, he raised his head and looked at Jixin, confused. Ahem, I wanted to ask. My brother-in-law is so handsome. In the years that you were separated from my sister, haha, in the States, in Seattle, right? Did you have any suitors? Haha. Jixin laughed, but his voice was a little unnatural, perhaps because he felt guilty. Oh, my little brother wanted to ask, Mr. Qin, did you attract girls? Huamin tilted his head and looked at Qin Chu with a faint smile. No. Qin Chu's answer was very short, which suited his indifferent and arrogant temperament. I trust Daddy. He's not that kind of person. Otherwise, he wouldn't have come back to the States to marry Mommy after studying abroad for 7 years. Uncle, your question is very pointless. Is it because you've been too stressed at work lately? Here, have another fried egg. It'll give you more nutrients. Little Bean picked up the fried egg with a fork and put on Jixin's plate. Jixin, Uncle, did you find something? You're not a suspicious person. It's weird that you're suddenly asking about Daddy. Pudding was very calm as she analyzed her uncle's strange behavior. Jixin was so scared that he quickly waved his hands. No, I really didn't. I was just asking. I was just curious, huh? Qin Chu looked serious. He glanced at Jixin and then at Huamin. Other than Mian, I'm not interested in any woman. His domineering words cleared up all doubts and expressed his determination to Huamin. Wow, Daddy and Mommy are showing off their love so early in the morning. How cruel. Little Bean licked the cream off the corner of her mouth and smirked. Pudding calmly took a sip of milk and chimed in. You'll see this kind of scene often in the future. Don't make a fuss. You have to get used to it. Huamin, Jixin, why are you talking about this? Your brother-in-law isn't that kind of person. If people don't know any better, they might think that we're suspicious of him. If you have the energy to do your job, you should help your sister or find yourself a partner. Don't think about all this nonsense, young Meirong scolded. I know, Mom. Jixin was scolded in the face. He pursed his lips and didn't dare to say anything else. However, he made a mental note to himself. After all, it wasn't that he didn't trust his brother-in-law. It was just that he thought it was a little strange. In the afternoon, Qin Chu drove the black Bentley Continental. He took the twins and Huamin to the Su family mansion. As soon as the twins entered the Su family mansion, they immediately ran to Lord Su, who was sitting on the sofa. Great-grandpa, we missed you so much. Pudding, who was never good at acting cute, was no longer cold. Chapter 1846. Great-grandpa, did you miss me? Little Bean began to act cute, determined to surpass her sister. Of course, Great-grandpa misses you. You two little fellas. When Lord Su saw the twins, his heart almost melted. Back then, after Huamin gave birth, she stayed with the Su family for a month. At that time, the two babies were still young and didn't know anything. Lord Su and Mr. Su fought to hold them. They were very affectionate. Although they weren't related by blood, their relationship was very deep. In the next few years, Huamin would occasionally visit the Su family and bring the children home for dinner. When the two babies were tired of playing, they would stay with the Su family. With Lady Su watching over them, they were no different from her own children. Perhaps it was because Lord Su was old, but in front of the two little guys, he didn't have the dignity of a military commander at all. All that was left was amiable. Pudding once said that Su Yu's great-grandfather was a stubborn but cute old man. Little Bean, on the other hand, flattered him and said that Su Yu's great-grandfather was the best great-grandfather in the world. Huamin and Qin Chu followed behind them. "Hello, Master Lord Su." "Hello, Master Lord Su." "Come, sit down, you two." Master Lord Su stood up and said politely. At this moment, Mrs. Su and Mr. Su walked down from upstairs. "You came at the right time. You guys talk first. I'll go to the kitchen to prepare the dishes." After speaking, Lady Su went straight into the kitchen. Mr. Su walked over and sat down. The twins pounced on him again and began to act cute. Mr. Su, who had always been serious and old-fashioned, had a happy smile on his face. "Mian, have you been busy with work recently?" Lord Su asked. "It's fine, not very busy." "Qin Shu, you have to help your wife. Don't let her work too hard." Lord Su is right. I just came back and am not familiar with anything. I'll get used to it slowly. You'll feel bad for your wife." Huamin shyly retorted. Qin Shu smiled but didn't say anything. "By the way, Lord Su, this is for you. Please accept it." After saying that, Qin Shu took out a painting tube from behind him and handed it over. "What are you doing? Between us, we don't need these things." Master Lord Su seemed to dislike gifts. Huamin immediately explained. Lord Su, please take a look first. This isn't expensive, but it's a gift from Qin Shu." Master Lord Su opened the painting tube doubtfully. He took out the flower scroll and opened it. Then he was slightly stunned. It's not made by a famous master, nor is it an antique. I just heard that Master Lord Su really likes the authentic works of Su Zilin, a painter from the Republic of China. He studied abroad in America. Back then, he had a hard time, so he sold a few of his works in America. I was lucky enough to buy one of them. So, I gave it to Master Lord Su. It's really not expensive. When Mr. Su heard this, he immediately leaned forward to take a look. He was also a little shocked. Rumor has it that Master Su Zilin is a man of integrity. He rarely sells his paintings. If he hits it off, he'll give it to others. It's basically impossible to buy it in China. I remember that the curator of the Pingqing Museum used to be close friends with him. There's one of his paintings in the museum. The rest are hard to come by. Master Su was troubled by love and became a monk in his middle age. That's why his paintings are no longer circulating. I heard that there are a few paintings overseas, but they can't be bought with money. It's really rare that you were able to buy it. After saying this, Mr. Su raised his head and looked at Qin Shu in disbelief. How did you get such a difficult thing to get your hands on? That's amazing. Chapter 1847. It's a coincidence. A friend of mine in the States knows the seller. They're foreigners and don't understand the profoundness of Chinese paintings, so there's no point in keeping it. He wants to sell it, and I want to buy it. I've already had it appraised, and it's authentic. I hope Master Lord Su will like it, Qin Shu said sincerely. Lord Su held the scroll and couldn't bear to put it down. I heard that he painted the portrait of a gentleman a long time ago. I didn't think that after so many years, I'd be lucky enough to see it. I can die without regrets. I heard that he painted the portrait of a gentleman when he was traveling with his friends in Maishan. It's one of his most satisfying paintings. It's indeed the style of a great master. The style is fresh and the strokes are vigorous and powerful. Most importantly, it's rare to see the elegance and nobility of plum, orchid, chrysanthemum, bamboo. It's not easy to paint the essence of a painting. I'm glad you like it, Master Lord Su. Huamin smiled. I like it. Of course I like it. You're such a thoughtful child. Lord Su looked at Qin Shu approvingly. It's nothing. I'm glad you like it. Then, Qin Shu picked up the square brocade box that he had prepared and pushed it in front of Mr. Su. I get a gift too? Mr. Su asked with a rare kind expression. Uncle Su, take a look first. Huamin smiled mysteriously. Mr. Su slowly opened the brocade box and looked at the ink-black inkstone inside. It was so beautiful that it could topple a city. You too. It seems like you've done your research on my preferences. Did Su tell you this? Mr. Su picked up the inkstone and couldn't bear to put it down. No, Su wouldn't tell me. I guessed it myself. I've been to your study and saw that you have the most inkstones in your collection. Huamin pursed his lips and smiled. As the saying goes, one must cater to a person's preferences when giving a gift. It wasn't the price, but the intention. When Mr. Su picked up the back of the inkstone, he was a little surprised. There are words. It looks like, "Preface to the Orchid Pavilion," Mr. Su exclaimed. Uncle Su, you have good eyesight. Although this inkstone isn't made of the best material, the craftsmanship is very complicated. It was made by a modern master, Feng Hongqin. It's 196 centimeters long, 118 centimeters wide, and 16 centimeters thick. There are as many as 168 stone eyes on the inkstone. It's one of a kind in the world. The pattern is carved in the style of Ming Dynasty's blue and white, and the engraving on the back is indeed Wang Shiji's preface to the Orchid Pavilion. Therefore, this inkstone is named Elegant Charm of the Orchid Pavilion, Qin Shu explained patiently. Elegant Orchid Courtyard. Not bad. Good name, I like it. Similarly, this isn't expensive because it's a modern piece. So, Uncle Su, you don't have to feel burdened. The reason why I bought it is because I think the craftsmanship is pretty good. It's passable, and it's just a small token of my appreciation. I hope Uncle Su doesn't mind. Qin Shu spoke slowly. Mr. Su raised his head with admiration in his eyes. Qin Shu, you're about the same age as are you, but you're so knowledgeable about these things. It's clear that you've seen a lot. Uncle Su, you flatter me. Back then, my father was also very interested in these things. I've been influenced by him since I was young. I just know a little bit, Qin Shu said modestly. At this moment, Little Bean's eyes rolled around, and she asked in a childish voice, Daddy, you bought gifts for Great-Grandpa and Lord Su. What about Grandma Su? Grandma Su won't have any, right? That would be very awkward. Daddy, you don't favor boys over girls, do you? Little Bean's words made everyone laugh. Just then, Mrs. Su walked out of the kitchen and asked, Little Bean, what gift did you get for Grandma Su? Come, let me see. Annie Su, your gift is here. Huamin stood up with a smile and held up a beautifully wrapped big box in his hands. Chapter 1848. Oh, Little Bean was right. There's a gift for me. Lady Su smiled as she took the box. Then, she walked over and sat down beside Huamin. She slowly opened the box in front of everyone. Inside was a light blue qipao. It was sewn with golden thread and looked luxurious. The most important thing was that the material was light and delicate. It was obviously a top-grade piece. Actually, Qin Shu gave me this material a few days ago. I asked someone to sew it according to your figure. There are 2 batches of material, and I made one for my mother. My mother likes simple and elegant things, so I gave her a dark green one. Annie Su has always had an extraordinary aura and is as elegant as an orchid. That's why I thought it would be perfect for you. You only know how to flatter me. But this qipao is so beautiful. The most important thing is that the material doesn't look like ordinary material. Lady Su gently touched the material of the qipao. She had worn countless qipaos over the years. Whenever it was a traditional festival, she would wear a traditional Chinese qipao. Her aura was indescribable. Therefore, she was very knowledgeable about material. She looked at it and was surprised to find that she didn't have any clothes made of this material. Qin Shu said faintly, Auntie, this material, it's rainbow cloud brocade from Wannan. Have you heard of it? Rainbow cloud brocade? Gosh, isn't that top-grade material made by the Jiang family's workshop in the Ming Dynasty? Rumor has it that it's always been a tribute. Then, during the Republic of China, the workshop declined and the brocade gradually disappeared from the market. I've heard people talk about it, but I've never seen it. My mother-in-law said that her mother's family used to have a rainbow cloud brocade dress. Then, during the chaos, the house was robbed and the dress disappeared. It's not easy to find it now. Chu knows a lot about this. He bought 2 batches of material from an old friend and made 2 dresses, one for you and one for my mother. Come on, any Sue, try it on and let us see. It'll look beautiful. Huamin chuckled. Only 2. Doesn't that mean you don't have any? Lady Sue looked at Huamin. I'm not in a hurry. My mother will give me hers in the future. You should keep yours and give it to Sue Yu's wife in the future. Huamin said half-jokingly. Pudding held Lady Sue's hand and said, Grandma Sue, I'll go upstairs with you to change. I can help you hold the hem of your dress in case you slip. Ah, good girl. I didn't dote on you for nothing. Lady Sue was so happy that she kept touching Pudding's face. She put down the walnut in her hand and said, Qin Zhao Zhao, don't be so shameless. That's my specialty. What do you mean by your patent? Flattery? Pudding asked. Little Bean, the quarrel between the sisters made everyone laugh. Then, Lady Sue took the twins upstairs to change into their cheongsams. Qin Chu and Huamin stayed downstairs with the 2 elders. Mr. Su really liked the elegant orchid ink slab and couldn't bear to put it down. Qin Chu said, Uncle, this ink slab is a bit too big. The craftsman didn't grind it because it was made from a whole piece of stone, so it's not very nice to look at. You can keep it as a piece of art. If you really grind it, it's a bit too big. It's not convenient to hold. Huh? Who said so? I like to use big ones. It's comfortable, haha. Mr. Su laughed loudly. Mion, the twins aren't young anymore. You can't always hire a tutor. Is it time for them to go to school? Is there a suitable kindergarten for them? Grandpa Su glanced at Huamin and suddenly thought of this topic. Chapter 1849. I'm thinking about it too, Mr. Lord Su. The military kindergarten is good. It's heavily guarded and managed. Most importantly, if they become soldiers in the future, they can directly apply for military school. The score requirements aren't that high. Dad, they're 2 delicate girls. Why would they go to military school? Why are you so silly? Mion wouldn't be willing to let them go. Even if Mion and her husband were willing, we wouldn't be willing to let them go. You know how hard it is in the military. Mr. Su seemed reluctant. Nonsense. Although the military is hard, it's also training. Plus, protecting the country is the highest honor. The old man said this with a righteous tone. Huamin and Qin Chu looked at each other and smiled. Lord Su is right. My daughters aren't that delicate. Let's go home and talk about it. If we can't find a suitable kindergarten, we can ask Lord Su to help us enroll them in a district kindergarten. At least, their safety is guaranteed. See, Mion is the most sensible one. The old man seemed to be satisfied with Huamin's answer. As they chatted, Lady Su walked down the stairs. Look, Grandma Su is so beautiful. Little Bean yelled at the top of her lungs. Everyone immediately turned to look at the stairs. Lady Su had a good foundation. She was beautiful and had fair skin. Even though she was old, she still looked charming. Huamin always thought that although Lady Su wasn't from a famous family, she had the aura of a rich lady. That kind of temperament was emitted from the bones and was not something that was deliberately imitated by makeup. This color really suits Mrs. Su. Huamin smiled. It depends on the aura. It was rare for Mr. Qin, who was always cold, to praise someone. Mr. Su and Lord Su both nodded, especially Mr. Su, who pretended to be calm. The material is really good. It's top grade. Huh? Lord Su, it's only the material, okay? Where are you? Little Bean ran over and acted coquettishly. You little devil, you're getting more and more naughty. Lord Su, compliment Grandma Su. I rarely hear you compliment people. Grandma Su is so beautiful today. Don't be stingy with your compliments. Little Bean continued to pull on Mr. Su's hand, acting cute. Ahem, is indeed beautiful. Finally, under Little Bean's pressure, Mr. Su, who had always been reserved and serious, finally said, It's indeed beautiful. However, Lady Su was already very satisfied. Her cheeks were slightly flushed. Mion, Chu, thank you. Thank you so much. Lady Su thanked them with a smile. Auntie, you don't have to be so polite with us. I've always treated you guys as my family. This isn't a gift. It's a form of filial piety. Huamin was afraid that the Su family would feel burdened, so he quickly explained. I understand what you mean. Let's stop chatting. The food is almost ready. Let's go. Lady Su gestured for everyone to head to the dining room. Pudding raised her head and looked out the door. Then, she asked unhappily, Where's handsome Su? I called him. He's on his way home after work. I think he'll be here soon, Lady Su replied. As soon as they sat down in the dining room, they heard the loud sound of an engine. Pudding and Little Bean ran out like the wind. Wow, it's really a Lamborghini. Handsome Su is back. Pudding and Little Bean ran over to greet him as if they were fighting for his attention. The door opened. However, the person they saw wasn't Suyu. Instead, it was Hi. Pudding, Little Bean. Hello. A woman wearing a light pink cashmere coat with long hair and exquisite makeup greeted them. Pudding and Little Bean subconsciously took 2 steps back, showing their dislike and hostility towards her. Huamin turned his head and saw that it was Jiantong. She was still wondering why Jiantong was here when Suyu walked in behind Jiantong. Hi, you 2 little ones. Did you miss me? Suyu walked in with a smile and changed his shoes. Handsome Su, why did you bring an outsider back? Don't you know this is an internal family gathering? Little Bean was unhappy and immediately labeled Jiantong as an outsider. Chapter 1850. Before Suyu could say anything, Jiantong smiled and looked at Little Bean tenderly. Baby, I'm not an outsider. I'm your Uncle Su's girlfriend now. Jiantong's words made everyone's expression change. Huamin was slightly surprised. He didn't expect Jiantong to say that. But since she dared to say that, Suyu must have acquiesced. Old Master Su and Mr. Su didn't like women in the entertainment industry, so they didn't like Jiantong at all. Lady Su also looked at her son in confusion. She didn't seem to be prepared for this at all. Qin Shu, on the other hand, looked calm, because he didn't care who Suyu was with. Pudding's reaction was bigger. She glanced at Jiantong and then at Suyu. Handsome Su, is what she said true? Suyu seemed a little embarrassed. He raised his hand and rubbed the tip of his nose. Ahem, it's true. Auntie Jiantong will be Uncle Su's girlfriend from now on. You guys have to get along well with her. Oh my God, what's going on? Pudding opened her mouth wide, obviously in disbelief. Are you sure this isn't a joke? Pudding still looked at Suyu calmly, as if asking for confirmation again. It's not a joke, Pudding. Okay then, I can only say you have bad taste. Pudding turned around and left. She ignored Suyu. Pudding also looked at Suyu with disappointment. I didn't expect a woman who has seen an eagle can fall in love with a crow, and a man who has seen a rose can fall in love with a wildflower. Suyu, Jiantong. Pudding's golden sentence left everyone at a loss. Huamin felt embarrassed. After all, his daughter was very rude. Pudding, Little Bean, don't be rude. She's Uncle Su's girlfriend. You should call her Auntie Jiantong, Huamin scolded. It's not easy to be our auntie, even if you're handsome Su's girlfriend. Little Bean said stubbornly. Pudding sat down at the table and changed the topic. Let's eat. I'm starving. After that, Pudding lowered her head and ate slowly, but it was obvious that she wasn't in a good mood. Grandpa, Dad. Mom, this is Jiantong. Suyu formally introduced her. Hello, Lord Su. Hello, Auntie Su. Hello, Uncle Su. Jiantong smiled sweetly, as if she wanted to please everyone. Oh, okay. Mr. Su's expression was indifferent. Lord Su didn't say a word, but it was obvious that he didn't feel good about it. You guys came back just in time. Let's eat. Lady Su understood the big picture and didn't refute her son. Suyu walked over with Jiantong and found a seat. Jiantong went to Australia to shoot a movie a few days ago and bought some deep-sea fish oil there. She said it's good for your health. I asked Auntie Yu to put it away, Suyu said. Lady Su glanced at Jiantong and smiled a little distantly. Miss Jian, you're too kind. We don't need anything. You don't have to buy things for us in the future. It's just a small token of my appreciation. Auntie, don't be so polite with me. Jian Tong seemed to want to please the Su family. Mom, your Chong Sam looks good. It's new. Suyu immediately changed the topic to ease the tension. Mion and Chu gave it to me. It's made of the long-lost rainbow cloud brocade. Of course it looks good. TSK. Huamin, you're so generous. You spent so much money. Are you going to eat dirt next month? After all, you only earned 10,000 yuan as the president. Suyu looked at Huamin with a smile. Huamin worked at the company and only earned 10,000 yuan a month. But the problem was that the company belonged to his family. He could use as much as he wanted. Suyu used to joke about the 10,000 yuan to tease Huamin. Why would I care about that when I'm buying a gift for Andy? It's worth it even if I eat dirt. Huamin smiled faintly. TSK, TSK. I finally realized that Little Bean inherited all her skills from her mom. Suyu smirked. What does it have to do with me? I'm the one being implicated. Little Bean rolled her eyes at Suyu. Pudding couldn't take it anymore. She glanced at Suyu and said, Handsome Su, get to the point. Did you bring her here today to announce your new relationship? You purposely chose today when everyone is here, didn't you? Pudding's words made the atmosphere tense up again. Chapter 1851. Suyu looked embarrassed. Pudding, kids don't understand adult matters. Handsome Su, don't try to fool us with these childish words. After all, Little Bean and I aren't kids anymore. If you announce your relationship on a day like this, are you declaring war against my daddy or telling my mommy that you've already switched sides with someone else? Suyu was speechless. Pudding, don't talk nonsense. Pudding's words made Huamin so embarrassed that he almost died of cancer. I'm not talking nonsense. The whole world knows that Handsome Su likes mommy. Could it be that Handsome Su was triggered by daddy's return? Is that why you're so desperate? If that's the case, you're really low. Pudding analyzed calmly. I completely agree with my sister. Handsome Su, what you did this time was really wrong. Little Bean began to criticize. Suyu was speechless. Pudding, Little Bean, don't talk to Uncle Su like that. Qin Shu felt that although his daughter was still young, Suyu would definitely lose face if she spoke so openly. So he scolded her for the first time. Jian Tong, on the other hand, was very calm and didn't feel uncomfortable. It was as if she had expected this before she came. There's still some soup in the pot. I'll go get it for Lord Su. Huamin took the opportunity to get up and leave the table. He walked towards the kitchen, and Jian Tong saw this and followed him. Let me help you, Huamin. Then, Jian Tong followed Huamin into the kitchen. Lord Su's face immediately darkened. He looked at Suyu and said, You, what are you doing? Grandpa, I'm not doing anything. I'm an adult. What's wrong with having a girlfriend? Aren't you happy about it? It's not about whether we're happy or not. I've told your father many times that the Su family doesn't look for women from the entertainment industry. If you find someone from a good family, we'll definitely support you. Lord Su looked unhappy. Suyu, how old are you? Why are you still so impulsive? Suyu's father was furious. Even Lady Su, who had always been gentle and virtuous, could not help but scold her son. Son, what are you trying to do? Why did you suddenly bring someone back? You didn't even tell me beforehand. And why is it Jian Tong? You and her. Mom, I've talked to Jian Tong before. She's been doing her job at the company all these years, so I know what she's like. Plus, she's very good to me, and she's very devoted to me. Why can't I choose her? It's better to choose someone I know than someone I don't know. I think we're just going back to how we used to be. There's nothing wrong with it. Suyu seemed to be determined to acquiesce to this relationship. He didn't hesitate to fall out with his grandfather and parents. It was inconvenient for Qin Shu to intervene in the Su family's affairs, so he could only choose to watch with folded arms. The twins, on the other hand, were not calm and seemed to be very angry. Handsome Su, even if you want to find a girlfriend, you can't find someone like her. She's a typical pretentious bitch. We don't like Jian Tong. We just don't like her. We don't like her at all. Humph. Little Bean was throwing a tantrum. She crossed her arms in front of her chest and pretended to hit someone. Little Bean, Lord Su is already so old. Do you really want your Uncle Su to be single forever? Suyu smiled as he touched Little Bean's chin. Pudding glanced at Sue coldly. No one is stopping you from finding a girlfriend. I thought you should at least find someone suitable for you. A few days ago, I was asking Dad about Annie Ching. I knew she was single, so I wanted to wait for her to come back so I could set you up with her. But you're such a disappointment. You just have to find a female celebrity. Plus, I know you don't like that woman at all, but you still pretend to like her. You're just putting on an act for everyone to see. There's only one reason why you're doing this. Pudding paused for a moment. Sis, what's Handsome Sue's purpose? Little Bean was confused. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.